Freediving Championships. We're live here with Diveye Freediving from the beautiful islands of the Bahamas. My name's Benjamin Zions and I'll be your host for 9 days of competitive action. We have 46 freedivers representing 23 countries from around the globe here to challenge themselves against the depths of Dean's famed blue hole. We're looking forward to a spectacular competition this year. We have today alone 11 national records and 1 world record going to be attempted by Jessie Liu from China. Very excited about this record, and that Jessie Liu is now representing my home state of Hawaii. So should be a very, very interesting thing to see what the Chinese athlete can do. We've got some action on the platform starting to heat up already. We've got Stig, the first athlete of the day. He'll be attempting 100 meters in constant weight. As you can see, we have our judges in yellow, we have our safety and platform team in white. You can see Stig to the right warming up for his dive, and then we have several athletes on the warm-up platform, which is located behind the main platform, getting ready to dive as well. I'd like to take a moment to just thank our proud sponsors, OriginECN, motto technology leads finance and service creates values. We also have the beautiful islands of the Bahamas, which have been hosting this event for the last 10 years. Sunto dive gauges, which make the world's most accurate dive gauge, used by many of the freedivers here in this competition. And this is also brought to you in partnership with IDA International, the industry leader in freediving education and safety, and also Paralens action cameras. These dive cameras can make it all the way to the bottom of Dean's blue hole at 200 meters. So here we have Stig getting to the edge of the platform, getting ready. Safety divers attaching their Paralens cameras. And this year's event is going to be action-packed. In the men's department, 100 meters constant weight has sort of become the norm. We're going to see several dives today in the 100-meter department. We're going to see national records being attempted by many different athletes. Alright, so in just a couple moments we'll be here, we'll be underway. First dive of the day, Stig from Denmark. Constant weight, 100 meters and a dive time of 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Stig's one of the strongest divers in this year's event. Sure to make a strong run for the podium. 5 minutes until Stig's official top. Stig's personal best in constant weights, 105 meters. This 100-meter dive should be what is considered a warm-up, but lots of nerves here on the first day of the competition. We'll see how Stig can handle the pressure.
4 minutes.
Amazingly, Stig has only been diving for 5 years. He's also been competing for 5 years. So Stig's descent today will be made with the use of a monofin. Constant weight, for those viewers out there who are unaware what constant weight means. It means that you're constantly ballasted, wearing weight of some sort. Typically a neck weight. Stig wears about 2.5 to 3 pounds, or 1 kilo on his neck. And then he also utilizes a fin, which he kicks with dolphin-style kicking to make the descent. Dolphin kicking generally considered to be a bit more energy efficient than utilizing bifins, which is typically what freedivers use in recreational diving. So you're going to see most of the competitors here this week utilizing the dolphin kick style with the monofin. It'll be really interesting to see if any of the divers actually do use bifins. Maybe attempt some national or world records in bifins this week. Discipline that's not generally practiced in competitive freediving until recently. So here you can see Stig attaching his nose clip. The nose clip is used by divers so that they're able to descend to depth without using their hands to grip their nose to equalize. Even for divers who can equalize hands-free, the nose clip is generally worn to keep water out of the nose on descent. So you'll see athletes like Dean Schausch, William Trubridge, who do have hands-free equalization ability, will still use a very simple swimming-style nose clip to make their descent. Here Stig is actually using a nose clip that closes his nose quite tightly so that he's able to make the descent not using his hands. You can also see something very interesting and unique here to the blue hole, and that Stig on the top of his head is wearing a head-mounted flashlight.
1 minute, 30
And the reason
seconds.
for this is that Dean's Blue Hole, although it has amazing visibility in the first 10 to 15, 20 meters, after that it becomes quite dark. So typically athletes diving deeper than 60 to 70 meters, 80 meters and deeper, will all be wearing a head torch or lamp during this week's competition. Stig comfortably breathing up on his, basically what is a pool noodle that he's modified. Yep.
1 minute.
1 minute to official top. This is where athletes are trying to find their highest level of relaxation. It's almost a meditative state that Stig's falling into.
Seconds. 20 seconds.
Safety team looking on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Official top.
Stig filling his lungs.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Stig makes his turn.
Stig Fritz, Denmark.
And the Danish diver is off.
Meters, 2 minutes and
Stig,
50
a diver that is well respected, well rounded, excellent in all disciplines. Starting off with a 100-meter dive in constant weight here at the OriginECN vertical blue. Stig looking strong on his descent to 20 meters. Now passing 30.
30 meters.
Soon Stig will enter into his free fall. And this is something that's really unparalleled here at Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas. Because we are diving into what's in essence basically a 200-meter deep swimming pool, athletes are able to really totally and completely relax in the free fall portion of their descent, which conserves a huge amount of energy. So as you can see, Stig here, very relaxed, very comfortable, using his hand a bit to aid in equalization. A lot of these divers utilize the mouth fill technique, something we're going to have the opportunity to talk to many of the world's best divers about this week. So if any of you at home are interested in learning more tricks, tips, or anything like that from these divers, be sure to tune in, chime in on the Facebook page, ask some questions, and it's definitely things that I can present to the athletes and try to get you guys some information back home on how to help improve your diving. Hopefully one day maybe see you here at Vertical Blue. So Stig's closing in on the plate, 98 meters. He's got his hand outstretched. 100 meters, he touches down, grabs the tag. You can see that torch on his forehead guiding the way. And Stig's going to make a strong ascent here back to the surface with the monofin. Stig's still less than 2 minutes into this dive, so by using the monofin, Steve can make the descent and the ascent a little bit quicker. You're going to see most of the deepest dives of this week done by divers in constant weight, and then free immersion probably be the next deepest discipline, and then constant no fins, where divers descend without the use of any fins or pulling on the rope will be definitely the most challenging. Stig 220 into the dive, just passing 30 meters. We're going to see the first safety diver here in a second. Stig looking strong. Again, this dive short of his personal best by 5 meters. This is most likely a warm-up dive for the Danish athlete. You can see the Diveye drone flying in the background. Second safety diver meets him. Steve removes the nose clip underwater. Looking solid. Makes the surface. Takes a moment to compose himself. Gives the okay signal to the judges, states that he's okay, looking very calm, very relaxed. Great dive by the Danish diver. And he presents the card. So something that the divers still are required to do by the IDA judges, something maybe a little bit left over from the old days of diving, before we had cameras, bottom plates, Sunto dive gauges. They actually retrieved the tag from the bottom to prove that they had made the depth. Similar to like when I was growing up, we used to dive down to the bottom and grab sand and bring it up and show our friends. Well, divers here are required to bring a tag back up to show that they've made the dive. And if you're short on the dive and you don't bring a tag, you just get penalized in points. It still counts, but you're shorted points. So the next dive, we're going to have a 99-meter dive. Fantastic dive by Stig. Here we can see him making the bottom plate, turning around, making a strong ascent to the surface, giving the okay signal to the judges. Sam Trubridge bringing up the line for Alejandro Lemus from Mexico, who's going to attempt a long free immersion dive to 99 meters and an announced dive time of 3 minutes and 36 seconds. This will be a Mexican national record. Very exciting dive for Alejandro. Looking forward to a strong performance from the Mexican diver. As you can see, he's here on the platform, relaxed, zen-like, breathing up on his back, getting ready for this amazing performance that we're about to see from the Mexican diver. So one of the main differences that you're going to see between the disciplines, free immersion, which for those of you out at home that aren't familiar with what free immersion is, it's pulling down the rope. So divers are going to descend wearing no fins, pulling down the rope hand over hand. And this is the discipline that Alejandro is going to attempt to set the Mexican national record in right now. One of the main differences you're going to see when these athletes compete in these different disciplines is the placement of the lanyard. And the lanyard's what connects or tethers these divers to the line, so that they don't lose track of where they are 300 feet below the surface of the water. And Alejandro and most all of the athletes will be wearing the lanyard on their ankle. Some of the athletes in free immersion may be wearing a belt lanyard, meaning around their waist, typical of what we do in no fins diving. But I think that most all of the divers you're going to see wearing the ankle lanyard in free immersion, which is what Alejandro has here. Alejandro's wife is also his coach, so she'll be assisting him at the surface during this dive, helping to position him, helping to aid in his relaxation before he attempts this national record. the trademark banners here at Vertical Blue. Flags representing the countries of all the athletes in participation. Each year we have more and more countries being represented, this being the 10th anniversary of the Vertical Blue freediving competition. Sunto, one of the original partners and sponsors of this great event. Certainly the chosen dive gauge of the majority of these athletes. Back to the main platform. Alejandro Lemus of Mexico, attempting 99 meters in free immersion. This is a national record, ladies and gentlemen. And so something that's new this year to our broadcast, and the reason why I'm here, is that we're able for the first time in history to broadcast these dives live as they happen. So something that's really, really unique in the sport of freediving. What we've had in years past, until the invention of the Diveye drone, was that we had the dives filmed at the surface, and then we had dives filmed at depth. And now we have the ability to actually film the divers while they descend. So it adds just a whole nother dimension, whole nother context to the dives, making the sport appeal, hopefully, to a much wider fan base. Very interesting for me because you get to be able to see what these divers do underwater, watching their technique, watching when they take their mouth fill, which is a form of equalization for deeper depths, studying how much where they achieve their negative and neutral buoyancy, all these different types of things that weren't able to be seen before Diveye broadcast. So really, really cool addition to this year's Vertical Blue event. Again, we have Alejandro's wife assisting him in his breathe up, maybe giving him some last words of advice. Be interesting to hear what they talk about before a dive. Alejandro Lemus from Mexico, attempting the national record in free immersion, 99 meters, packing his lungs at the surface, ready for his descent. The athlete turns and begins the descent. Announced dive time of 3 minutes and 36 seconds. This is going to be a very long dive, ladies and gentlemen. Free immersion, although considered to be an easier discipline in terms of relaxation, definitely one of the more demanding disciplines in terms of breath holding ability. So because the descent and the ascent is made much slower by pulling on the rope, these athletes that dive deep in free immersion are forced to have a tremendous breath hold capacity, which Alejandro hopes to demonstrate here with his 99-meter national record performance. Alejandro still pulling. Fascinating to watch these athletes' technique. So instead of exploiting the sink phase and utilizing complete and total relaxation, Alejandro still maintains relaxation, but utilizes a pull cycle throughout his descent. The arm overhead maybe for streamlining or to help to guide him on the rope. Be interesting to pick Alejandro's brain after the dive. and see where he's at in terms of technique. And so Alejandro,
145.
he's going to make a long ascent here. The Mexican athlete looking strong.
70 meters.
You're going to see Alejandro throughout the week diving in his Salvamar wetsuit, which is his main sponsor. Like many of these freediving athletes in this competition, Alejandro is a freediving instructor. He's actually an instructor trainer, meaning that he trains other instructors in this great sport of freediving. 40 meters, Alejandro pulling his way to the surface. Looks as though the athlete's going to make a little bit quicker dive than what he announced. 30 meters.
3 minutes. 20 meters.
So Alejandro way ahead of schedule. He had a 3:36 announced dive time. Only passing 3:10. Slowing down a little bit. 8 meters. 5 meters. And Alejandro breaks the surface. Can he hold on? He looks strong. Nose clip comes off. And he gives the okay signal to the judges. States that he's okay. Does he have the tag? And so it looked as though he turned a little early. No tag. Great dive nonetheless. Won't be a national record. He'll have another chance at it this week. These divers make 6 dives over the course of 9 days. And we look forward to Alejandro coming back, taking another stab at that 99-meter free immersion Mexican national record. I'm sure he'll be back, and next time we're hoping to see a successful white card from Alejandro. Spectacular dive nonetheless. Okay.
Oh man, top professional.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So today's next diver will be Hanako Hirose from Japan. She'll be attempting 95 meters in constant weight in a dive time of 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Hanako, one of the strongest Japanese female divers. Looking forward to see her doing some amazing dives this week here for the Diveye camera at the OriginECN Vertical Blue. Very excited also that I've just been joined in the booth by our first diver of the day, Stig from Denmark, who had a fantastic dive to 100 meters in constant weight. Looked like a strong dive to me, Stig.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Sort of a warm-up for you?
Yeah, just normally I just starting hitting numbers, and this time I just want to start slow and
Yeah.
just build it up. Actually, Hanako did it last year. I was thinking, yeah, maybe that's the way to go.
Cool. Right on.
So-
Yeah, so for me and for the people at home, it's really interesting to have the opportunity to kind of like pick the brains of all these top athletes that are competing here at this year's event. I know we have some freediving competitors out there in the crowd that are watching this event, and then we also have some people that are just recreational divers. What do you think, over the years that you've learned from freediving, what do you think is like the most important thing that you've taken away from freediving over the years?
When definitely for me, when I start chasing the numbers,
Yeah.
then it's not working for me.
Okay.
So it's important for me to just go into the dive and just enjoy it as much as possible.
Yeah.
But when we have competition, then I'm sleeping really bad. I'm, getting nervous and stuff.
Really?
But at the line today, is everything just disappeared, and hey, I'm just gonna enjoy this free fall and then
Yeah, cool.
just enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so for you, that was an enjoyable dive.
Totally. So
Awesome.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, you looked really relaxed on the
Yeah.
descent. That was really awesome.
Really cool. And the dive fight with me on the way down is like, you're not alone anymore.
Yeah.
You know, have a friend with you. Hey.
Cool. Right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some artificial life.
Totally cool. Yeah.
Well, cool. We're gonna watch Hanako Hirose attempt 95 meters in constant weight. So
She's
maybe.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Pretty strong athlete. Yeah.
She have a beautiful technique. She's so beautiful to look at in the water.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, so for me, a lot of time, this is my first time seeing a lot of these athletes, and really interesting, really awesome that we have the Diveye now to bring a little bit more context to these events. I think it's going to help the sport of freediving tremendously.
It's just taking to a totally not new level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing for us. Also that we can show people actually what we're doing.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's always been a mystery, kind of, yeah?
Yeah, also just seeing ourselves. It's like, hey, I'm doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also a big thing. So, and Alejandro did it also. It's nice to see.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
continuing all this white cards.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we see a lot of white cards this week. We have 11 national records and one world record.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hope she's gonna nail it.
yeah. That's going to be a big dive from the Chinese athlete, yeah?
But she has been really strong in training, I heard. So
Yep.
I think we cross our fingers that she's gonna do it.
Well, me personally
Yeah.
too, because she not only is she from China, but she bases herself in Hawaii. So for
so
me,
you know her?
yeah. So I didn't know Jessie until this week, meeting her here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, obviously always rooting for the local athletes at home. So I'm really stoked to see her hopefully make this dive this afternoon and bring home the world record for Hawaii.
Yeah, amazing.
2 minutes.
She seems really nice and relaxed, Hanako.
I've noticed that from all the Japanese athletes. They have a really nice way about them, kind of goofing around a little bit,
Yeah.
not too serious, and sort of kind of highlighting on like what you talked about, just enjoying the dives and enjoying the experience. Being here in the Bahamas, it's a beautiful place to be and a beautiful place to dive.
Yeah.
Have you been anywhere for depth that compares to Dean's Blue Hole?
Nope.
You think this is the best?
Everything is so alive. It's like, the wall is the same temperature, you don't have any currents, and the platform is amazing to do free immersion on.
Yeah.
So I've been many places to dive, but if I want to do really big numbers, it must be here.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're going into every time. Sometimes a little bit darker, but
Yeah.
we have light with us, so
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And so I saw you wearing a torch during your dive.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're going to be wearing throughout every dive this week, or only in certain disciplines? Or
I will do, because I'm only doing concentrated free immersion probably, so I will do the plus 100.
Yeah.
So I will use the light.
okay,
It's actually really nice.
you're not going to do no fins?
No, not this year.
Oh, okay,
Not this year.
you're a great no fins competitor too.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think I'm going to do it. I've chased the record for this constant weight for a long time,
Yeah.
and now I'm doing the numbers, and I just want to enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I make a promise to a guy at home that I'm gonna nail this thing.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Yeah. Got to keep those promises. That's important.
3,
That's awesome. Well, I hope you make it,
Push
Steve.
your top. Plus
So
1,
we're really good training, so
Yeah.
3, 4,
So-
5.
are we gonna see her?
Cool.
Yeah.
So walk us through this dive with Hanako. I know that
Yeah,
you have a
well-
lot of experience with these types of depths, and it'd be cool to kind of have your input and
She's doing a lot of small packs.
yeah.
Nice.
Very small in
But-
stature.
Yeah.
Japan, constant weight, 95 meters, 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, go Hanako. So that
20 meters.
should start free falling around the 30 maybe.
Yep.
Oh, she goes further. Ah, there it is.
Still leaving one hand out.
Yeah.
And now with the other hand, is that helping the equalize?
I do the same thing. I have my hand on my nose, on my lips,
Okay.
just to have. It's easy for me to control the pressure. She's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you're controlling the pressure in your mouth by doing that.
But it should not be necessary. But for me, it's just more relaxed.
Yeah.
It can make you spin a little bit, and I actually can slow you down a little bit.
Yep.
But for my dive time, it was not slowing down.
Yeah.
Not at all.
70 meters.
So, and for Hanako, it's fine dive time also.
Mhm.
Even with a hand on the line, could also slow her down a little bit.
And so this is an athlete that certainly has world record potential during this week's
80
competition, yeah?
meters.
Yeah, one of the girls are gonna be amazing this year. They're gonna fight about all the road because this side.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed in my
Yeah.
notes looking at the competitors is that definitely in the men's group there's a couple of people that could potentially approach world record depths in a few
Yeah.
disciplines. Obviously, namely Will, Trubridge, and Alexey Molchanov.
yeah.
But in the female department, there's just countless
it's
women
so
that can.
open, yeah.
Yeah, it's wide open.
Turn and return.
Cool. And so,
So
like,
see this? Oh,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful to look at. So nice and soft kicks.
and so what amazes me is that
80 meters.
the relaxation that these athletes use is just extraordinary. But in the female athletes in particular, their stature is much smaller, and so to make it back from those types of depths, I mean, it requires a huge amount of strength. And for coming from a very petite woman, it's incredible that she can get herself back to the
Then the
surface.
technique is so important. If
Yeah.
you're better at it, it's easier for them to come up.
And so, what do you think's the best way to kind of figure out your technique with the monofin?
Or for me, I've learned it in the pool, but I've
Yeah.
been switching around for a lot of monofins just to find one that
40 meters.
really cool, really fits me.
Yeah. and-
Because my legs is not strong enough.
Okay.
So I need a really soft fin, so I can make all my movements from the hips.
Gotcha. And what are you using now for a monofin?
It's a Molchanov.
A Molchanov.
Yeah.
Cool. That seems to be the kind of go-to equipment for a lot of the athletes in this competition.
You
Yeah.
can see Hanako is actually using a little bit stiffer fin,
Yes.
and so her kicks now is getting really slowly.
Yep.
She's not getting so much back kick in it,
Gotcha.
so she'll probably be really happy about a softer fin maybe.
Maybe you should tell her. I'm not going to tell her.
But maybe for her it's just fine and perfect.
Gotcha.
The dive time is cool, she's nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
She's coming up now and she's gonna be, it's gonna be no problem.
And so walk us through the surface protocol, because that's something that maybe our viewers at home aren't 100% familiar with.
Yes, you have to remove all her equipment from their face. So
Yep.
if she has glasses on, she remove that and then her nose clip.
Yep.
And then she has to give a sign, okay sign,
Yep.
and then say, I'm okay.
Yep.
And it has to be in that order.
Yep. If it's not in that order,
No, if you're saying okay and then give the sign, it's a red card.
okay, red
So
card.
It
Wow.
has to be in that order.
And now you can see that she's presenting the tags that we've set on the bottom plate
Yeah.
at the beginning of the day. Something that's sort of kind of maybe left over from the old school tradition of diving, yeah?
Yeah, in the old days there was big plates that
Really?
have to pick up. Yeah,
Cool.
I heard that in the beginning they also have names on it, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's just a story. But imagine you have to look for your name. Which one is mine?
So this is how I got into competitive freediving as a child in New England, where I'm from in Rhode Island. We would dive down and grab shells and grab sand and bring them back up to show that we
Yeah,
made the depth,
yeah.
you know? And yeah, so, still grabbing the cards is pretty cool.
Cool. It was amazing dive time, 3 minutes and 15.
Yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
right on schedule, yeah?
Perfect, yeah. Who's up next?
We have Alfredo Rowan
Alfredo.
from Spain. He's doing constant weight to 95, so
95.
same depth,
5 minutes.
but he's going to try to do it in a little bit quicker time, 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what speeds up his dive time compared to Hanako. Maybe just a little more strength as a male, or
Yeah, maybe, and maybe his descent is faster. Also,
Okay.
yeah.
now for someone who hasn't quite been to the depths that you have, especially in the self-propelled disciplines, how much does narcosis start to play, and what depth does narcosis start to play?
For me, it kicks in around 90, but it's not every time it does it. But here,
Okay.
when a little bit darker, it kicks in more often.
Yeah,
But it's just make you much more relaxed and make the equalization easier because everything is completely relaxed.
Gotcha.
But it can also be too much.
okay.
So it's you really have to control it some kind of way.
Gotcha.
But if the light actually help you, so if you're diving with a light, you look up, make sure the light is on the line, so you can have this light.
Okay.
And it makes it go a little bit faster away.
Gotcha.
4 minutes.
And so you start to experience that narcosis around 90 meters, but
Yeah.
it's not. And so what's it feel like?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Cool.
It's a little bit difficult to explain, but everything just be more relaxed and you be more enjoyable and stuff.
Yeah,
but you know what you're doing. You know, it's not like you're gonna be totally fucked. But you know what you should do. And
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've heard some people compare it to sort of like, you know, having a martini or, you know, strong cocktail.
Oh no,
or
it's much
something.
better.
Much better than that?
Much better.
Okay, cool. Well, that's something to look forward to in the
Yeah.
future, you know. For all of you at home who haven't made it to 90 meters, you have something to look forward to
Yeah.
once you start diving deeper than that. Stig Trubridge, he'll assure you that there's a good experience down there for you. Much better than a martini.
Okay, I have to go up to the doctor and make me.
Yeah, absolutely.
check my
Right on,
everything,
Stig.
so-
Thanks for jumping in.
Cool
And it's
talking
always
to
a
you.
pleasure to
Yeah,
talk with you. You're a legend. And yeah, good walk this week. I really hope you get to set that
I will. I
that
will.
record.
I
Not
promise.
hope,
No.
will. I look forward to sitting
I
with
just
you.
do it.
Yep.
Cool, guys. See you. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Enjoy your night.
All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Alfredo Roen from Spain. Constant weight, 95 meters, and a dive time of 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So same dive, same depth as Hanako, but a little bit quicker dive time here from the Spanish athlete. Be really interesting to see what contributes to his technique, enabling him to get to and from depth in approximately 30 seconds quicker than the Japanese female. So you can see Alfredo has his Sunto dive gauge located just above his neck weight on the left-hand side of his neck. So it's right by his ear. And a lot of these athletes are setting alarms. And what these alarms are designed to do is give them some information or feedback during their dive. And I'd imagine that most of these athletes during the dive are going to set alarms to remind them first of where their mouthfeel is, meaning that they fill up, take air away from their lungs to fill up and store in their cheeks to take with them to depth. And this is what allows them to equalize their ears and their sinuses or their mask if they're wearing one. And then they're also probably going to set an alarm where their sink phase begins. And you're going to see all different types of sink phases this week, meaning where the athletes achieve negative buoyancy and they're able to relax and free fall to the bottom plate. But I would say generally most athletes are starting their free fall somewhere between as shallow as 25, and then we have like Alexey who will actually start his free fall much deeper at 45 or 50 meters. And then somewhere in between there, athletes will also usually set some alarms to give them some reminders as they're passing certain depths. And these aren't really reminders in the sense to tell them to do anything, other than just to know that they're on track and that they're making the depths. And then also, like Stig talked about, a lot of these dives are deeper than 90 meters, where narcosis starts to kick in and partial pressures of oxygen increase. And so these athletes will set another reminder a couple meters before the bottom plate, varies by individual, to sort of wake them up from this trance-like state that they've achieved during their descent, which will make it so that they don't crash headfirst into the bottom plate. We've definitely seen a few performances in training where the athletes are so relaxed that they actually do crash headfirst into the bottom plate. And hopefully that's where that narcosis kicks in and, you know, doesn't affect your dive too much. So Alfredo off the surface, 95 meters. He's looking good, arm out ahead. So we're seeing a lot of athletes with the hand on the mouth. And as we talked to Stig about, that's something that really helps aid in equalization, sort of managing the air in their mouth, and that's a really important part of the dive. Not only do you have to be physically fit enough and capable enough to make these depths, but really what you have to be able to do is equalize your ears. All of these athletes have tremendous breath hold times, tremendous physical fitness, but it's the equalization that in a lot of ways separates some of the mid-level athletes from the really exceptional athletes. And as you can see, Alfredo utilizing that hand on the mouth technique to maybe help improve his equalization just a little bit. Alfredo, a very strong competitor. Passing 70 meters.
80 meters.
Completely relaxed. Passing 90 meters. Looks as though there'll be no doubt he'll make the plate. Nope. And again, maybe that alarm didn't wake him up in time. Alfredo, strong to the surface, looking good.
145. 80 meters. 70 meters. 2 minutes. 60 meters.
Announced dive time of 2:50. Alfredo Rowan looks to be right on schedule. You can see this is where the legs are really starting to burn, really starting to use a lot of extra energy. Those oxygen stores are getting low.
20 meters.
Safety divers watching the athlete very closely.
10 meters.
Alfredo running a little over his intended dive time. We'll see if this plays an effect at the surface. Can the Spanish athlete hold on? Mask comes off. Nose clip. And he gives the okay signal to the judges. Does he have a tag? Alfredo Rowan with a tag. Waiting to see what the judge's response. And a white card for the Spanish diver. Fantastic performance. So a little over time on his dive, but strong performance nonetheless. Next up, we have Adam Stern from Australia, attempting a free immersion dive to 94 meters in a dive time of 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And this is going to be a national record attempt for Australia. Adam Stern, one of freediving's top instructors. Many of these divers here in this event are instructors. Recently switched over to the Molchanov School of Freediving. You'll see Adam this week wearing a full range of Molchanov's freediving gear, lanyards, wetsuits, monofins.
Five meters, 5 minutes.
So we're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen. Jessie Liu, 9:51. Don't forget to tune in. This is a world record attempt for the females. Jessie Liu from China. Free immersion dive to 93 meters in an announced dive time of 4 minutes. This is going to be a massive dive from the Chinese athlete. Alfredo Loren. Solid turn at the plate. Here he is presenting the card to the judges. 4 minutes to official top. So Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas is, you can see our day 1 results as of so far. We have Stig from Denmark, 100-meter, white card, and constant weight. We have Alejandro Lemus, a little bit short, turned at 95 meters on his 99-meter attempt, which was a national record attempt. We have Hanako Hirose from Japan, constant weight, 95 meters. She made that dive look very, very easy. And then we have Alfredo Rouen, constant weight, 95 meters, from Spain. And again, he nailed that dive for a white card as well. Adam Stern, 94 meters, Australian national record attempt. Adam's one of the most well-rounded divers in this year's event. We're looking to see him take a charge at the OriginECN Vertical Blue podium this year.
3 minutes.
Maybe try and take one of those medals back to Australia. Adam, one of the most relaxed athletes in the event. Always smiling, always happy. I've had the chance to talk with Adam throughout the week. He's a very unique individual. Has some great content on his YouTube and social media channels. Lots of tricks and tips out there for all you divers. So if you get the chance, be sure to check him out on YouTube, Adam Stern Freediving. Like I said, now a Molchanov's instructor. Lots of great information on equalization, swimming technique, yoga. Teaches one of the most comprehensive systems available for freediving education. So it'll be really interesting to pick Adam's brain in the booth this week after his performances and see if we can get you guys at home some tricks and tips for your own freediving performances. Sam Trubridge, the platform director, Will Trubridge's brother, will be directing all the action from the official dive platform this week at the OriginECN Vertical Blue Freediving Championships. Sam's been the voice of the event since it started 10 years ago. It's being the 10th anniversary of the Vertical Blue Freediving competition here on Long Island in the beautiful islands of the Bahamas.
30 seconds. Seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Official top. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Adam Stern packing his lungs, readying himself for this 94-meter free immersion attempt at the Australian national record. Can he do it, ladies and gentlemen? Adam duck dives and begins his descent.
Adam Stern, Australia, free immersion, 94 meters, 3 minutes, 12 seconds, national record attempt.
As you can see, the Diveye drone following Adam down. Daan Verhoeven, fantastic photographer, will be capturing all the action this week. Definitely check out his social media channels. He's got some amazing shots if you're into freediving photography, wildlife. Adam enters into his free fall at 40 meters. Relaxed and comfortable, letting that arm just glide by his fingers. These free immersion dives, pulling down the rope, hand over hand. Always testing the athlete's ability in terms of breath holding. Long dives. Adam has a tremendous breath hold. Hoping that he can pull this dive off to 94 meters, Australian national record. And Adam touches down, grabs the tag, puts it in his hood, and now the work begins. Can the Australian make it to the surface with the tag in hand and claim his national record? You can see how pitch black it is here at Dean's.
80 meters, 250.
Adam fighting off the urge to breathe, overcoming narcosis, moving his way back to the surface. He looked strong.
60 meters.
60 meters starting to move back into the light. Safety divers descending a little early this time. This is a national record attempt. This is a long dive for the Australian. Safety divers will be meeting him at 30 meters.
40 meters, 245.
Still looking good.
30 meters.
30 meters, first safety diver. Second safety diver.
3 minutes. 20 meters.
Adam's been underwater for 3 minutes. We announced 3:12 total dive time. Almost on schedule. Adam Stern from Australia. Will he make it? National record. He hooks. The nose clip comes off and he gives the OK signal. Strong performance from the Australian. And he produces the tag. Adam blowing kisses for the camera. And the judges, white card, a new Australian record. Adam Stern, 94 meters, free immersion, and a dive time of 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Fantastic performance from the Australian. What a way to start off the competition, ladies and gentlemen.
That's just
First national record of the event. Adam Stern from Australia, 94 meters, free immersion. It'd be great to have an interview with him later. I'm sure he's excited. Here's Adam packing. Making the turn at the bottom, grabbing that tag. And a quick OK signal into the judges.
all right. Just gone 5 minutes. Line is ready.
So I can't tell you how excited I am about this next dive. Jessie Liu from China, living in Hawaii, my home state, will be attempting the world record for the females, 93 meters in free immersion. Our first world record attempt of the competition, and it occurs on day one. Chinese athlete entering the water. 4 minutes until she starts on the journey of a lifetime. So like Stig talked about earlier in the broadcast, Dean's Blue Hole with its idyllic conditions, water temperatures hovering in the low to mid 80s, zero thermocline, zero current, zero waves, wind, offering these athletes an unparalleled opportunity to push themselves to world and national records. And here we're about to see our first one of the competition, Jessie Liu from China, attempting to set the bar just that much higher in the sport of freediving. Jessie relaxed, comfortable, breathing up with her Molchanov's nose clip, best dive wetsuit, and like most of these athletes, wearing the torch on her head, guiding the way into the dark depths of Dean's Blue Hole here on the Bahamas. Amazingly enough, in my conversation with Jessie earlier this week, she's only been freediving for 4 years and only competitively freediving for 3. And here she is on freediving center stage, attempting a world record. Amazing the progress these athletes can make in such a short amount of time. Jessie Liu 1 minute away from a world record attempt in the female discipline of free immersion. Jessie Liu will pull herself down along a guided dive rope to 93 meters. Spectacular. There's silence on the platform. You could hear a pin drop.
20 seconds.
Will she make it?
10 seconds.
10 seconds away.
5, 4,
Jessie begins to fill her lungs,
2, 1.
packing with air,
Plus 1, 2,
readying herself
3,
for the
4,
descent
5.
of a lifetime. She removes her flotation, and the dive begins.
China, free immersion, 93 meters, 4 minutes. World record attempt.
This is going to be a long dive. 4 minutes for the Chinese athlete. Can her breath hold? Can her stamina? Can her training guide the way?
20 meters.
Will she do it? Hoping all the divers at the Ho Now Now Divers Club in Kona are watching this performance. I know Jessie, a regular member of their Sunday training sessions. They must be very proud to watch her make this descent. 44 meters. Jessie Liu on her way to 93 meters. Can she make it? Can she bring home this world record? Passing 56 meters. 1 minute into the dive. Announced dive time 4 minutes. She has 3 remaining. Jessie looking relaxed, comfortable. Does she have enough air to make the equalization? Can she make the play? 80 meters.
80 meters. 130.
87 meters. 88. 90 meters.
90 meters.
The plate is within reach. Jessie Liu, 93 meters. She grabs the tag. She's spending a moment looking for the tag. She grabs the tag. Will that cost her? Will the delay at the bottom cost her? Can she make it? Jessie pulling hand over hand, clawing her way back to the surface. Can she claim this world record? 74 meters. Jessie Liu, dive time 2 minutes 15 seconds. Pushing the sport 1 meter further. 57 meters. Can Jessie Liu take the sport of female freediving to new heights?
50 meters. 245.
Working hard. You can tell. The contractions are strong. 43 meters. Jessie Liu climbing. Will she do it? 38 meters. Just 1 atmosphere of pressure away from a world record attempt. The safety divers are there, ready to assist. Can she do it? Unassisted to the surface. Jessie Liu from China, 93 meters in free immersion, on her way. She's looking tired. Can she do it?
20 meters. 330.
Almost there, 20 meters. And she's being assisted by the safety divers. This record won't count. She's unconscious. The safety divers assisting her to the surface. 7 meters, 6 meters, 4 meters. The safety divers bring her to the surface. Jessie Liu is unconscious. Will she come around? Fantastic crew of safety here. Textbook rescue. Bringing her up onto the platform. And this is the price we pay as athletes. To pursue new depths in search of world records. Fantastic effort by the Chinese athlete. She gave it everything she had, nothing to be ashamed of. Hopefully we'll see Jessie back here tomorrow or the next day, ready to attempt this world record again. I think that turn at the bottom, you know, getting a little tangled up with the lanyard and getting tangled up with the bottom plate was just that little bit that cost her in this world record attempt. You can iron out that and grab the tag, no problem, world record next time. Jessie Liu, as we can see here at the bottom. So here at the bottom, she makes the bottom with ease. I mean, she does actually a 95-meter dive, but then she has a little bit of trouble finding the tag. It cost her the world record. What a shame. it's got to make you wonder if in today's modern age where we can see these athletes making the plate, we have the dive gauges to know they made the depth. Do they really still need to grab a tag? And as we can see, it cost Jessie Liu a world record performance right there. Fantastic effort by the Chinese athlete. We hope she's okay. I'm sure she will be. The medics attending to Jessie Liu. And here in a moment, we'll have Adam Stern joining us in the booth, who just completed a national record to approximately the same depth as Jessie Liu, and maybe he can give us a little bit of insight into what happened in Jessie's performance and maybe what cost her the world record in free immersion.
So I'm
Here we
splashing
go.
water everywhere.
Yeah, Adam's still wet, right out of the water. Super stoked to have him in the booth. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Yeah, awesome performance today. National record for Australia. And yeah, looking forward to some more great performances this week for you and the other disciplines as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I kind of wanted to come out starting with like a soft dive, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Because in the past, every time I've been to vertical blue, I've come out like swinging,
Yeah.
and I've had a few good dives in the beginning, and then I just like crash and burnt at the end. So I kind of wanted to avoid that from happening again.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, do you think you're going to be revisiting the free immersion discipline later on in the week? Or?
Yeah, for sure. That's the plan.
Okay.
It's funny actually. I've never actually trained free immersion before because I've always focused on constant weight.
Gotcha.
But I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm really enjoying them at the moment. And so I've been doing a fair bit of it in training. I feel really good doing it. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and so we just saw a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, a lot of excitement with your dive, and then we had the world record with Jessie Liu attempted after that, and you know, a little bit of disappointment there. Maybe in a little bit they'll get the feed up here and we can watch her dive. But it looked like she spent some time like kind of searching for the tag at the bottom.
Yeah. Do you know what? I mean, I think that Jessie has this dive in the bag.
Yeah.
But the issue, you know, from chatting to her and from watching her dive and lead up to the competition, has been that I feel like she peaked too early.
Okay.
So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, she was doing this dive in training.
Yeah.
And she looked great. You
Yep.
know what I mean? I
Yep.
saw her come up from 92 free immersion, like completely fresh.
Yep.
That was about 3 weeks ago. And I think she's just gone a little bit too hard, a little bit too early, and
Okay.
she's a bit, you know, she got sick before the competition, which
Yep.
it's a pretty standard thing when someone's overtraining.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really like what happened here.
Okay. So something that's really interesting, I mean, you're one of freediving's top instructors. I follow your YouTube channel. I'm always looking for tricks and tips as an instructor myself. And so it's cool. I've had a lot of questions come in over the last few weeks, people wanting me to ask the athletes different questions. And so you kind of brought up overtraining versus undertraining, and it'd be cool
Yeah.
if you could just talk a little bit about that and like what that means to you and how you kind of balance that in your training regimen.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the thing, is that usually a freediver, okay, it can be hard to gauge your physical state when you're freediving,
Yeah.
because we really we're not necessarily stressing ourselves in a like musculoskeletally, right?
Okay.
Where we're effectively we start to tax our. Oh, there's Jessie.
And we can see Jessie's
Forever.
fine. She's a little disappointed, but she's breathing oxygen. She's with the medics. Fantastic staff of medical here. We've got some great lung specialists and EMTs on board with us. Obviously, fantastic safety team.
The safety
Performed.
team's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean the rescue was textbook. So you know, really allowing these athletes to push themselves, and you know, it's blackouts are part of the sport. Yeah.
They don't have to be, but unfortunately they are.
They are, yeah, for sure. But it's, you know, they happen, and
They
it's
happen.
good that we have the safety in place to deal
Exactly.
with it. Yeah. Yeah, so back to the training that we were talking about, overtraining versus undertraining.
Well, what happens when you're diving too much or doing dives that are a bit too taxing for the body is you start to tax your nervous system and your immune system starts to crash. So
Yeah.
one of the gauges that we have is just like general fatigue. You know, when you wake up in the morning and you are just fatigued. But it can be really hard to pick, and it usually takes quite a few years of training and competing to gauge your body for
Yeah.
when you are overtrained.
Yep.
I feel at least that it's a little bit harder in freediving to gauge it than in other sports.
Okay.
And considering that most of us don't have coaches,
Yeah.
so we don't have someone looking out for us,
Yeah.
it's something that we have to. So we have to be managing our own training. And managing everything for ourselves.
Yeah,
you know
pretty
what I mean?
much,
Like we're all one man, one woman shows.
Very self-sufficient
Yeah.
freediving. That's something I'll be asking a lot the athletes this week is, you know, how do they coach themselves, and how do they finance this whole thing to be able to.
Finance.
Yeah.
They're called credit cards, Ben.
Yeah, for sure. I know about that. But yeah, it's pretty amazing that you guys are able to get to these locations and compete and finance all your own training. And,
yeah. No, it is good. It is good.
Cool.
Is Alexey next?
Yeah, Alexey Molchanov, constant no fins, 92 meters.
Awesome. That'll be good. He
big
did this dive in training 2 days ago.
Okay.
Or 3 days ago.
And how do you look? Typical Alexey?
Typical Alexey, like, you know, fresh.
Cool. And so now you're doing some stuff with Molchanov, yeah?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
so
cool.
I've been a part of, I suppose, like revamping, reorganizing, and getting the new Molchanov's education system out there internationally.
Oh, cool.
And that's exciting. Like, that's really exciting. Like, all of a sudden, you've got a group of freedivers who are like, let's get together and make what we think is just the best way to teach people how to freedive. Yeah. And you know, it's
so kind of for freedivers by freedivers.
Well, that's the slogan.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is. I thought you were just making this up.
No, I had no idea. That's on. Yeah, but it sounds great. I mean, that's something I'm a big fan of for sure.
Well, it is. I mean, one of the issues is that we have at the moment. I feel like the freediving landscape is made up by companies who don't have a genuine interest in freediving. I mean, ADA is obviously the huge exception. Yeah. But one of the issues with ADA is that they're a volunteer organization. So there's only so much a volunteer organization can do. Absolutely. He says at an ADA competition. So our intention is to be a company that will be run as a commercial endeavor. Yeah. But will be a company whose decisions will be made based on like what is the best thing for freediving. Yeah. You know. By national record holders, world record holders. Yeah, we have a lot of people on the roster. Like we haven't like released our big list of all our ambassadors, but we are talking about people like Goran Kolach and Alin Wang, who's here as well, and several other really strong athletes. Exactly, who have been a part of like making this system. Yeah, and so that's really something that's very interesting. You know, I think that you talked about overtraining, undertraining, but a lot of the training that people are getting is sort of guessing almost. Very much. There hasn't really been anything developed other than through like sort of trial and error, and you guys are kind of at the forefront of this stuff. At this point in time we are, because I mean the other ways, I suppose the other systems, like there was a system that was like, you know, thought up or invented about maybe 10-15 odd years ago. Yeah. And we've just been moving ahead with that, and it's only been now that we're actually going back and re-looking at things and saying like, is this actually the best way for someone to learn and become a better diver? Yep. And you know, for the most part, the answer was well, yes and no. You know what I mean? We took what we thought were the best things about the old system, and we've brought them over into something new. Yeah. And we're pumped. We think it's going to be excellent. Yeah. And so something that's really interesting to me as an instructor and as someone who's been involved with the sport for a little while is moving people from sort of the recreational aspect of freediving, which is obviously sort of the larger market. Definitely. And one of the most enjoyable too, you know, I mean, I'll always consider myself a recreational diver. Yeah, there's so much stuff to see. Well, so do I, because I just do this for fun, you know. Yeah. And then moving into the competitive aspect of freediving, and so I think that's where like a lot of the knowledge has sort of been left out. I think so too, and we have actually systemized that, as in we have now a 4th freediving level. Cool. And we have plans to make the 5th as well, but we didn't want to overburden ourselves with too much before we launched it. So, yeah, makes sense. So we do have a competitive freediving course. Yeah. A course that is designed to take someone from being a sort of 40-meter diver to a 50-60 meter diver, and introducing them into the realm of competition. Yeah. I suppose also diving upon command, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like we have to be doing here. Yeah. So yeah, we have systemized that and implemented it into a course, which is really exciting. Yeah. Was that something that you really had to kind of adapt to, diving on a schedule? Oh, do you know? I feel like for me it happened as such a slow process over so many years that I just slowly morphed into a person who's like, "Oh, you ready to dive? Go!" And I'm like, "Okay." Yeah. Gotcha. But yeah, it's usually something that takes a bit of time, or like the mentality behind how you perform, or how you enter like a single target dive is very different than, all right, we go out there on the line, we do a few warm-ups, we do a few deeper dives, see how you feel. If you're feeling good, go. If you're not feeling, you know what I mean? Like there's a different mentality when we're entering a competition, and yeah, so that's I suppose what we're trying to hit as well. Cool. And do you utilize warm-ups in your preparation? Like I do actually, yeah. I don't know. I've gone everywhere over the years. Like
Okay.
I've gone no warm ups, and then I did 1 warm up, 2 warm ups like this, warm ups like that. I find that I mean the general consensus is the more you warm up, the more you tax your body from its maximum performance, from what it
yeah.
can do physically.
Yeah.
But the more you warm up, the more comfortable you're going to feel on your dive. So because I'm not here to have a bad time. I do 1 warm up.
Yeah.
Get my body into dive mode, and then I know that at least my dive is going to feel really comfortable.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not a stoic kind of freediver. I'm not really into suffering.
Yeah. Yeah. and so just out of curiosity, I mean, I know it's probably there's a lot of things that go into it, but maybe walk us through your day from like when you wake up until you make a dive kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, as the years have gone on, I've actually done less and less and less. I used to have this like 2-hour stretching meditation routine. Now I wake up. If I have a 3-hour window, I'll eat oats 3 hours before my dive. If not, I'll have some fruit about like an hour and a half before my dive. So I just want to make sure I have some sugars in my body.
Gotcha.
So wake up, like for example, this morning, because I was diving quite early, woke up, had some apples,
Yeah.
did a little bit of breathing, and that was it. Just walked on down to the beach, did 1 warm up, like a 2.5 minute dive to 25 meters, and then I go.
Cool. And then you think you would accredit that to just maybe consistent diving over the years, and
Yeah, you can't do that kind of thing unless you have the dive reflex and the mentality strong enough to do so.
Yeah.
And that's just been a process of development. Like I certainly didn't start
Yep.
anywhere near being able to do that.
Yeah, cool. And so you've spent some time hanging out with Alexey, I'm assuming.
Unfortunately, I spend a lot of time with Alexey.
All right, right on. Well, yeah, I'm sure he's probably rubbing off on you, obviously.
Oh, he is.
For those of you out there that are watching this, Alexey Molchanov, double world record holding freediver, certainly one of the strongest athletes in this competition, likely to probably set some more world records, and last year's winner of the competition for his first time, so he kind of snatched the title from Will Trubridge.
He did.
Yeah, who's sort of the local boy here on Long Island. And,
it's put a bit of pressure on Will, I think, for this competition
yeah,
as well.
Yeah, for sure. Will's going to definitely try to get that title back.
Wait, you can see him right there in the background, here to watch Alexey's dive.
Yep. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so it'll be great to have you in the booth. You know Alexey well. You can kind of walk us through this
absolutely.
no fins dive, and so no fins generally regarded as Will's discipline.
Well, Will has the world record in it, but usually, well, I think in every competition thus far, he's always performed the deepest no-fin dive, even though Alexey beat him in the last vertical blue through the other disciplines. But I'm interested to see what Alexey's going to be doing here, because I know Alexey's been putting a lot of work into no fins this year.
Okay.
I think.
Any world record potential there?
I don't think a world record potential personally. He might disagree with me.
Okay.
But I certainly think Alexey may set a world record in this competition.
Yeah.
Just maybe not in no fins.
Maybe not. Okay. Probably the most likely candidate, though, at some point to set a no fins record, other than Will, maybe. Yeah?
I think absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. His PB at this point in time is 96.
Yep.
Which is what we are 6 meters away from world record.
6 meters. Yeah.
There's 6 big meters though. Very big meters.
Absolutely.
But I think he has it in him.
What's your personal best in constant no fins?
In constant no fins, God, I did 64 about 4 years ago. I haven't done any training in no fins for a long time.
Yep. Definitely, the contractions start early in no fins.
Oh my God, they do, don't they?
So it'll be it seems like Alexey has the almost unlimited breath hold capacity.
It seems that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I've never really seen Alexey. I suppose like weak. If that makes sense.
Well, he doesn't look weak. He's very strong.
1 minute.
1 minute to go.
And definitely, sort of like we talked about his strength. He builds himself physiologically, or maybe is predisposed physiologically towards the leg powered disciplines. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, like Alexey has been an athlete for his entire life.
Okay, cool.
He was a competitive swimmer and a fin swimmer since he was like barely able to swim.
Yeah.
He's been in this. He's been an athlete for a very long time, and he actually has like, I think the most developed physique, if I can say such a thing, in freediving.
Okay.
Because he's just been working out, exercising, and competing at a high level for
forever.
Forever.
And for those of you at home, Alexey's mother, now passed, was considered to be maybe the greatest female or male freediver of all time.
Well, I think you could probably still consider it to be the greatest female freediver of all time, because she had every single world record in every single discipline, excepting no limits, because
Yeah.
only crazy people do.
Yeah. And it's very hard to sanction and even
Yes, exactly.
organize attempts, but I'm sure if they ran an event, she'd probably give a go.
I think so too.
Well, we've got Alexey Molchanov getting ready, 92 meters and no fins. The Russian athlete, certainly one of the strongest in the event. Podium contender every year. And we've got Adam Stern here to walk us through the dive.
Alexey Molchanov, Russia, constant weight, no fins, 92 meters.
I mean, one thing I notice about Alexey right away from all his diving is that where he sets his buoyancy is amazing.
Yes. He's a very, well, he doesn't like to dive with weight, but he's also a very heavy and dense diver.
Okay.
So he usually is, like, for example, sometimes in his constant weight dives, he'll fin all the way to the bottom just to help maintain speed, because he's so buoyant, not wearing any weight.
Yeah.
30 meters.
One of the interesting things about
And so
Alexey,
he is using a bit of a sink phase here from 30 meters. Which
yes.
I've seen in past performances, sometimes he goes a little deeper than that even. Oh, still
Yeah.
kicking.
One of the very interesting things about Alexey is that he'll often just change up the way he dives without planning it, or even he'll sometimes fin to the bottom, sometimes he'll free fall, sometimes, for example, I've never seen him kick this deep before.
Yeah.
I think he's such an intuitive and natural diver. He just feels what's going on
Yep.
and just adapts in the moment.
Yeah. Must have been an amazing resource having his mother as, to bounce things off of in his early days of freediving.
Definitely.
I mean, I think no doubt here that Alexey makes the plate.
60 meters.
Yeah. Oh no, there's no chance. Yeah, there's no chance he won't make it to the bottom.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much guaranteed.
Oh, a 92-meter dive is not exactly challenging equalization for this 130-meter diver, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it does change though. I don't know if you've had that experience. In my personal experience, the no fins dives that I've done, the equalization becomes a little bit more difficult than what you could do with constant weight. Or,
Yeah. Well, you've been working at a very high work rate, and then you suddenly stop. You build up a lot of CO2 before the free fall, so it is a lot more challenging to equalize.
Yep.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting this week. Maybe we can pick Alexey and Will's brain a little bit about how they manage the CO2 and the equalization in these no fins disciplines. So again, Alexey, no doubt he's going to make the plate. Grabs the tag, even does a little hang down there.
He's not in a rush, is he?
Yeah, no rush. He never seems to be in a rush.
No.
Which is probably a good thing for a freediver.
Yes. One of the things I'm noticing in his style, actually, is that he's swimming a little bit softer than than what I saw him swim last year.
Okay.
Usually, he'll put a lot of power into his stroke, and you'll see him almost do this secondary kick with both of his legs at the same time, almost like a little dolphin kick.
Yeah, a little whip kick, kind of.
But he's not doing that anymore. He wasn't doing it on the descent, so I wonder if he's just discovered or decided that doing more strokes but being more relaxed is beneficial or better.
And so it's a really interesting sport, freediving, in that you need to be physically fit enough to be able to get yourself back from these extreme depths and make these dives. You need to be able to equalize, but relaxation really is sort of the ticket.
Being able to relax while you do all these things is it's the key.
Yeah. And so do you do anything at home, any yoga or any type of stuff that kind of helps?
Actually I don't. No, I know a lot of freedivers like to do yoga, or maybe less and less freedivers are doing yoga, but I do absolutely zero yoga.
Okay.
My coach is telling me to do stretching every day, and I'm not quite sure how to do that. I just touch my toes a little bit.
Yeah. But what do you find that helps aid in relaxation?
Just the diving itself. I feel like just doing the dives in training, having repeated them before, it just allows you to go into a dive knowing that everything is going to be fine. It's going to feel good.
Cool.
All right, here we go, approaching the surface. So he's doing that little whip kick now that we were talking about before.
And
he looks...
There it is.
Oh, I don't want to call it too early, but he looks very fresh. Oh, look at that. Oh.
So a little wobble from the Russian
Little
there.
wobble, yes. I think he was trying to do his surface protocol a bit too early without enough recovery.
And so something to very rarely see. We've seen Alexey do some amazing performances in free immersion and in constant weight this week. I saw him do 126 and then hang out at the bottom.
Yeah.
It was pretty spectacular. But yeah, a little wobble there in the no fins discipline.
First day of the competition.
First day wobbles.
Yeah, that's right. You're allowed a wobble or two on the first day.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what we get here. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a white card, but it
Didn't submerge the airway.
No. The only thing that could have happened was maybe his service protocol wasn't clear enough. Or
Okay.
We'll find out.
I mean, definitely 92 meters is probably...
What are they? They've given him a...
Well, judging by Alexey's response, it didn't look like a white card.
No white card for Alexey today.
Nonetheless, you know, a really fantastic performance. I mean, 92 meters, you know, maybe small little wobble at the surface, but
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he'll be back to try that depth again this week.
I don't think it's going to phase him.
No.
You know, he's so strong mentally.
Yeah.
So strong. So I really don't think it's going to be an issue. He still has 5 more dives in the competition.
5 more dives. Yeah, everybody makes 6 dives this week. 3 dives count for the official points, or all 6 dives?
Well, one dive from each discipline.
1 dive from each discipline. Free immersion, constant weight, and then the no fins discipline, which Alexey challenged himself with first, the most demanding discipline, is going to count. So Alexey has another chance to redo that no fins performance, and I'm sure we'll see him stick something in the 90s this week.
Definitely.
For sure.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he protests that decision.
Really?
I don't know. Like I couldn't see what was going on. Mind you, we're here behind.
Yeah.
Behind the screen, so we're not right there in his face. But I thought that he had that. Double okay. Okay, so we've just heard that it was a double okay. So we made the okay the okay sign 2 times.
And so me myself, I'm fairly new to competitive freediving. I've been diving.
And then he held it again. Oh, I don't know if you.
I looked like he gave the Italian name.
Yeah, hey.
I mean, we have a lot of Italians on the platform, so maybe that was what he was just doing a little
He's
Italian.
just trying to communicate with the Italians.
I think so. Yeah, that could be a protest. It's interesting. So a couple things that would be interesting to me are one, what are some of the reasons why you'd get a yellow card instead of a white card? And then this protest thing, what is this? I mean, I don't think there's any other sport where like the athletes can protest.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm not certain it's a good thing, because I think on many levels the judge's decision, for better or for worse, should be final for the like the authenticity of the sport, right?
Yeah.
So that the sport gets to maintain its I don't know, its authority, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
I think it compromises the sport a little bit too much when athletes can protest, but I mean, effectively, if you don't like a judge's decision, you can protest it, and they'll review the footage from the cameras they have on you, and they will make a new decision. And often people have their decisions overturned. Okay. So I'm not sure if Alexey will do that.
I mean, I think there's a high likelihood based on what we just saw.
Yeah, personally, if he doesn't do it, I might just do it for him. Because just so you know, other athletes can protest other athletes. Okay. Yeah, which is also a bit of a weird thing in my opinion. Yeah. But it's what we can do. Okay. Athletes are very powerful in the sport of freediving. Yeah. And now, I mean, I've heard of this happening in the past. And does this create any type of rift between the athletes? I'm sure. Definitely. Yeah. At the World Championships last year, actually, Alexey was given a white card, and another athlete protested the decision. Another athlete who, mind you, had no stake in the result. And let's just say they weren't very popular after that. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. And so the result was actually overturned. It was overturned, yeah. Oh wow. So we have the fastest freediver in the event. The fastest freediver on Earth. On Earth. Stephane Thoreau. What is his dive time for this dive? We have it right here. He's going to do 91 meters in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. I couldn't even fathom doing a dive that fast. I can barely do 40 meters that quick. Yeah, so Stephane Thoreau, he's been known to kick all the way to the bottom, which would be fantastic to see here on the Diveye. Yeah. And see how this French athlete gets it done. There's, I guess there's more than one way to skin a cat in freediving, huh? Definitely, definitely. Yeah. Stephane was actually having a little bit of trouble with his dives and training, you know, because Stephane is, I think he's done 107 meters before.
Big dive.
But he was having a few issues, you know, around the 100-odd meter mark, and I don't think he was sure what was going on. And I'm not involved in his training, so I have no idea what was going on. But you know, he's starting with what for him is a very shallow, very conservative dive.
Yep. Tough country to be from for constant weight if you're a male, yeah?
France is a tough country to be from, full stop, you know? No, for free, you know, for the male freediving, they have...
some fantastic performers.
That's right. Well, between Guillaume Neri and Morgan Bouchis, if I'm pronouncing the names right.
That's a tough one for me, too.
Yeah, yeah, it's very, very hard to I suppose, like, be a top French freediver.
Yeah. And are those guys you see in competition much still?
Well, Guillaume Neri has officially retired. I think he is still doing the a competition every now and again just for himself. And Morgan, I saw at the World Championships last year, he won a bronze medal in constant weight. And I think he took home a medal in no fins as well, but I don't really remember.
Yeah. And so he's someone who's right up there with like Will and Alexey in terms of the no fins.
Definitely. I think he's definitely a no fins specialist.
Yeah.
And he's an ex-swimmer. He's got a fantastic body for it, and like a beautiful no fin stroke.
Yeah. We'll get to see Stephane Tureau's form here. Most likely a warm-up dive,
91 meter warm-up.
91 meter warm-up. Amazing to see this event for the first time as a broadcaster, that the majority of the male athletes in constant weight all diving deeper than 90 meters, most of them over 100.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, we have the most 100-meter divers here than at any competition beforehand, I think.
Yeah, sort of the new 100 feet.
Yeah, exactly. I do remember when doing 100 meters was a big deal, and it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah. I remember when 100 meters was a big deal if you did it in variable weight. Right? It wasn't even that long ago.
Any method to get there.
Yeah, exactly. So Stephane Tureau from France. Constant weight, 91 meters, the fastest diver in the event. The French speeding bullet.
And here we go, kicking still.
40 meters.
Yep.
He does have a beautiful finning style though, like he really fins nicely.
Yeah, I talked to him, he does a lot of work in the pool back home.
Yeah.
50 meters.
And so I'm sure that's where he developed the technique he has. And the kicks aren't very aggressive, they're very relaxed.
Really not. And you can see him pulling his pelvis forward as he kicks, so he's not really doing a strong leg kick, it's really coming from the hips and from the abdomen, so it's a gentle kick.
And so that's sort of the beauty of the monofin compared to bifins, is that you can kind of utilize the larger muscle groups in the body.
Definitely, you distribute the load over a much larger group of muscles.
Yep. Okay, cool. And so he does use a free fall that starts at 90 meters.
Stephane Tureau free falling at 80 meters.
Yep, 1 meter from the plate.
Oh, good.
And then the arms come up overhead.
I hope he's enjoying this dive. I hope, it'd be really nice to see Stephane having some good dives and building to some good depths in this competition.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's sort of the hope with all these athletes, I mean, start off and then kind of work your way up towards maybe the penultimate day and then really kind of have your bigger performances later in the week. And
well, that's the goal. I think with such a long competition like this, an 11-day competition, the risk is always peaking too early, crashing too early, and getting to that final day and actually being wiped out.
Yeah, I can imagine. And so, I mean, that probably has some strategy in terms of staggering your performance between the different disciplines, because obviously you're using different muscle groups for each discipline.
Definitely.
So we got the first safety diver at 25 meters.
They struggled to get down to him in time.
Yeah. Hopefully they struggled to keep up with him on the surface. And obviously you can see the Diveye drone here, which is what's bringing this event to us live this year.
The Diveye is a game changer for freediving.
I would think so. As a diver, do you notice the Diveye when you're diving?
Oh, here we go. Very fresh.
Is that the tag?
That's so good to see him happy. I hope he's happy.
Got the goggles?
Good.
So very relaxed surface protocol. And we get a smile. And a wave.
There we go.
And a white card.
Good work, Stephane.
Yeah, great performance from the French athlete. Really nice to see him get off on the right foot.
Yeah. But back to what you're saying about the Diveye.
Yeah.
Personally, on the way down, I go down with my eyes closed, so I don't notice or see anything.
Okay. Yeah, I saw you with rope kind of rubbing on your
Yeah,
shoulder,
yeah.
it kind of maybe help kind of aid in your descent, sort of
Well, it allows me to completely disengage, I suppose, mentally and physically.
knowing that you're there.
Exactly. It does slow me down, so I do actually believe it's not the best technique.
Okay.
So I am sacrificing a bit of time for it.
You see, like Will and Alexey are off the rope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things I'll be doing in my next training period will be stopping that and changing to a different free fall style. But on the way up today, I did notice the Diveye quite a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of like checking it out. I'm not sure if they saw that on the camera, but like I was looking right into the little light, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good having a friend down there.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing that Stig said. Stig Trubridge, who made the first dive of the day, and he said that it's nice to actually have some company on your dives.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, no problem. Well, it was great having Adam Stern in the booth. Look forward to having him join us later this week. Look forward to some more big dives from the Australian athlete. Terrific dive today, national record, new national record in free immersion for the Australian athlete. So really looking forward to seeing some big performances from him over the week. So next up, Alex Davis from Barbados, free immersion, 81 meters, and a dive time of 2 minutes and 45 seconds. This will be a national record attempt for the island of Barbados. So one of the local boys here at this freediving competition. Barbados just a few islands away. Definitely a fan favorite. Alex, an accomplished spear fisherman, freediving instructor, does some spearfishing guiding as well. He's been giving me the lowdown on the invasive lionfish here in the Bahamas. And yeah, looking forward to seeing Alex do some big dives this week. He's one of the only divers in the competition to dive with a mask. So something that he believes that, from his background in spearfishing, is kind of a hard thing to let go of. He's indicated to me that in training in the next couple of years, he's going to try to switch over to the nose clip or maybe some fluid goggles. But yeah, for now, still wearing the mask. So doing some huge dives, 81 meters in a mask, a spearfishing mask, very low volume. You can see on his back, Synergist Capital is his main sponsor. Alex is a second-year competitor here at Vertical Blue. Only competes twice a year. He also did his instructor training here, IDA instructor training with Jonathan Sunex, who's not with us this year, here at the competition. He's with us in spirit. Fantastic diver in his own right. Runs a freediving school in Dominica with his partner Sofia Gomez. And yeah, Alex is one of his disciples, one of Will's disciples, who we can see on the beach here talking with Alexey. So maybe they're talking about that controversial red card that Alexey received that may or may not be protested. Adam Stern always is animated as always. And Will with his beautiful girlfriend, Sachiko Fukumoto from Japan, getting the lowdown. Alex Davis.
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Attempting what will be his personal best dive in free immersion, 81 meters, and it's also a national record for the island of Barbados. Alex, originally from Great Britain, made the transition to Barbados several years ago and has settled into the island lifestyle over there. Next up, we have Dean Schausch, one of the other instructors here at Vertical Blue Freediving School. Dean, fantastic diver. He's going to be attempting his specialty of no fins freediving, 80 meters and no fins. So stay tuned for that. Dean, originally from Great Britain, definitely going to be a contender for the podium this year at Vertical Blue.
30 seconds.
Alex Davis, as you can see, he's got his mask on, descending to 81 meters in free immersion.
20 seconds.
Alex is capable of equalizing without the use of his hands, so no need for the nose clip. He can still wear the mask.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Official top. +1.
Official top for
2,
Alex Davis.
3, 4, 5.
Breathing up. Packing his lungs. And the Barbados resident from Great Britain descends.
Barbados. Free immersion, 81 meters.
Free immersion.
2 minutes and 45 seconds. National record attempt.
National record attempt for the Barbados athlete, Alex Davis. Looking graceful, pulling himself down to depth. As you can see, he's utilizing the lanyard on his ankle, which is what the majority of these athletes do, and they're pulling down to depth.
30 meters.
So he does use his hand to equalize past 30 meters, and I think that's to sort of help aid in keeping the mouth fill. I talked to Alex a little bit before the event about his use or his decision to use a mask, and is something, you know, that could maybe be hindering his performances a little bit in terms of depth, but obviously facilitates his relaxation quite a bit. The mouth fill technique and equalization deeper than 40 meters is definitely much easier done without a mask, but with a mask it's almost required that you have the hand on the nose to be able to retain that mouth fill. Alex passing 60 meters, sinking comfortably.
70 meters.
Alex getting close to the plate, looking good. And hopefully he makes the plate at 81 meters. Alex looking great. He grabs the tag. Definitely got to be a huge advantage having a mask on down there. Being able to see the plate, grab the tag, something we saw Jesse Liu struggle with a little bit. The light at Dean's Blue Hole, definitely very, very dark past 60 meters. Alex pulling his way back up from depth, 60 meters. Safety divers beginning their descent.
50 meters.
Very excited to see Alex make this dive.
$2.15. 40 meters.
Safety divers coming into view. First safety at 30 meters. Alerts Alec with a subtle grouper call, so that sounds like underwater. And that's just so that the diver and the athlete who's diving and the safety can face each other and make eye contact, and then that way the safety divers can sort of monitor the athlete on their ascent and make sure, as we saw in the case of Jesse Liu, that they don't lose consciousness before they reach the surface. Alex Davis makes the surface, removes the mask, gives the okay signal. That's a strong performance from the Barbados athlete. 81 meters in free immersion. He's waiting for his white card. Presenting the tag. Hanging on. They're making him wait. White card for Alex Davis. New national record for Barbados. What a dive. Fantastic dive. So we've already seen two national records set here. A world record attempt by Jesse Liu, which resulted in a blackout. Unfortunate for the Chinese athlete. And then two national records in the first group. We saw one from Adam Stern, who just recently visited us in the booth. Fantastic dive from the Australian athlete to 94 meters in free immersion. And a free immersion dive just recently completed by Alex Davis from Barbados, 81 meters in free immersion. So next up, we've got Dean Schausch from Great Britain. He's going to attempt no fins dive to 80 meters. This is our second deepest no fins dive of the contest so far. We've had Alexey Molchanov at 92 meters, who received a red card for a double OK signal. So I'm sure Alexey will be either back to do that dive again or maybe even protesting it. But we're excited to see if Dean can make his 80 meter no fins dive and be the top performer for no fins so far during this year's OriginECN Vertical Blue. Dean's certainly one of the hardest working athletes in this year's event. He actually has migrated here to Long Island to train full-time under the tutelage of Will Trubridge. Dean is a strong diver in all disciplines. Really definitely a favorite to potentially make. And here we have a flashback to Alexey with the double OK. That's definitely going to be a controversial decision by the judges. But back to Dean Schausch, one of the hardest working athletes in freediving. Lives here on Long Island, Bahamas to train full-time. Really putting the time and energy in, dedicating all of his efforts to this competition alone. And I'd expect we're going to see some massive performances from Dean over the next 6 days. Really looking forward to seeing some success from this young man. Just a tremendous athlete, tremendous competitor, and really an all-around nice guy. So as you can see, we have the results from today's performances here on the screen. Recently completed national record in free immersion, 81 meters by Alex Davis from Barbados. And next up, Dean Schausch from Great Britain. He's going to do a no fins dive to 80 meters. You're going to see a lot of similarities in Dean's setup and preparation, everything from his swim cap to his wetsuit to his dive gauges to how he breathes up lying on his back, the swim clip from Speedo that he uses as a nose clip, even to his technique underwater with that of Will Trubridge, the world record holder in no fins. Dean's certainly a disciple of Will's School of Freediving, and the efforts are obviously working quite well, and that Dean's one of the top divers in this year's event. So as you can see, we've got the safety team on the platform, the medics, Francesca, our media supervisor. Just idyllic conditions here in the Bahamas today. Weather in the high 80s, water temps hovering about the same. Just a slight breeze, but we're protected on all three sides from any type of wind by this beautiful amphitheater that's created here at Dean's Blue Hole.
Hello.
Aloha.
Aloha. Can I join you?
Yeah, for sure. So we'll be welcoming athletes that are competing, not competing throughout the event here in the booth. Making a little room here on the platform for a couple of Japan's finest divers. And we actually have a no fin specialist in the booth with us. Yeah, have a seat.
There's no camera.
Yes, there is. Go ahead, sit down.
Hanako is the middle. She dove today, so she's middle.
So we're about to see Dean Schausch attempt 80 meters, no fins. It'll be our second deepest attempt in no fins so far in the competition. No worries. Cool, so we've got Dean Schausch doing 80 meters today, no fins. Yep. And then we have a couple of Japanese athletes that have just joined us, some of the strongest performance in this year's event. So say hi to everybody at home.
Hey everybody! In Japan is now midnight. So
Midnight?
maybe everyone is, yeah.
Everyone's sleeping?
Sleeping.
Okay, well hopefully they can watch it live tomorrow on the Vertical Blue Facebook page. We'll record it. It's okay, you guys can talk. Cool, so maybe walk us through this performance by Dean Schausch. This is going to be a big dive, 80 meters, no fins, yeah?
But 80 is not so big for him.
Yeah?
Yeah. He has national record 84 or something.
Yeah. He looks like William, yeah?
Yeah.
So we were just talking about how he's very similar in his diving style to William. So you do a bit of no fins diving as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alexey.
Yep. So how does his descent look? Good form?
He looks like William.
Looks like William?
William.
That's a good thing, yeah?
Yes, so perfect.
Even has the elastic bands on the legs, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you utilize the elastic bands?
Huh?
Do you put
No.
the elastics on the thighs? No elastic bands for you?
Because every time, not here, like here. It's always falling, so.
Yeah. One more leg kick. That's similar to exactly what Will does.
And 40.
Yep.
Free fall.
And so we've been
He
talking
looks
about
so relaxed.
the free fall here at Dean's is definitely much different than almost anywhere in the world, yeah? The free fall. Very nice, yeah?
Yes, very nice.
No current.
Of course, no current here.
Yeah.
60.
Already 60.
Very nice dive time, yeah?
Yes, so fast. 70. Already 75.
And so he gets his alarm, cruises in,
Touchdown.
grabs the tag.
Touch. Enter.
And so in no fins, I mean the whole dive is very demanding, but this is really the hard
This is
work.
the hard, yeah, hard part. Of
Yep.
No fin.
And Dean puts in a ton of work into this. I know he's does a lot of training, particular to no fins. Looking really good
60. It's so fast.
in his silver orca wetsuit.
And shining.
Very shiny,
Very shining.
very stylish. Certainly one of the best freediving wetsuits out in the market
It's
right
like
now.
a squid.
Squid.
The silver squid. Maybe he's got a new nickname.
Squid. Dean squid.
He has a dance before.
Yeah, the silver squid.
And turn safety.
Dean looking very strong.
30. Yeah. He seems very strong, but also relaxed.
Yeah,
It's very important for no fins. You
Strength.
have to swim up, but you have to relax.
yep.
Yeah. Oh, どこ吐きてるどこ吐 Come on in.
Yeah, it's really that balance, yeah, between finding the strength versus the relaxation. That's
The balance is.
yep. Just making the surface. We can see him right over here on the right. Dean Schausch from Great Britain,
Yeah, looks so clear.
And he looks- like he just woke up out of bed.
Nice.
Ding. Ding's bro.
Yeah. Did they name this after him?
Yeah.
He's blue hole.
It's his blue hole.
Nice.
80 meters,
It's
no
fun.
fins. Dean's blue hole.
Looks so
Looked like a
clear.
great
Looks
dive.
So easy.
Yeah, so nice way to start the competition for Dean Schausch. 4 meters shy of his personal best, which would be a national record for Great Britain, but still 80 meters. Fantastic way to start off the competition. We're going to take a little camera break here. We've got some Japanese athletes in the booth that have joined us. Give us a little... Yep. And then we're going to start back with Omar from Italy.
Italy.
Constant weight, 116 meters.
16.
That's a big dive for Omar, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
National record.
I
Yep.
think he has already done
Yep.
116.
So how'd your dive go today?
Yeah. Very good dive today.
Very good?
Yes.
Yeah?
I'm so happy. I was a little nervous
Okay.
this morning. because I couldn't sleep well last night.
So is that why you took it easy today? Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it easy this dive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normally I know you like the 100-meter dives.
No.
No?
No, easy for me. 100 life.
You make them look easy.
No. Today's good, but sometimes 95 is not good.
Okay. Are we going to see some deeper dives in constant weight from you this week? Maybe?
I hope.
Yes.
I think so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. And will you be doing any other disciplines?
No,
Just constant
I
weight?
never tried. Yeah, I tried once one free margin and constant Monofin.
Okay.
Normally I do only constant weight.
Okay. And then so in the future, are you going to maybe try to start doing some other disciplines or just focus on constant weight?
If she teach me.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will. But you know,
I want.
in pre-merging, she's like,
You got tired hands?
yes, she has a rest.
Okay.
On the way up.
I don't have strong arms.
All right. We got to get you in the gym.
Huh?
Got to get you in the
She
gym.
will get that. But she's very lazy. She's very lazy.
Yeah, we cannot like this push hard.
Yeah.
We cannot do. We can
I can do only
3
four.
times or 4
Yeah.
times.
Well, some people would say laziness is a good quality to have as a freediver.
Yes, I think so. Because today we left at home at 7:45.
Yeah.
She woke up 7 a.m.
Yeah,
And
so
I knocked
hard.
her.
So
hard.
basically,
Back up,
just
back up,
roll.
back up.
She just rolled out of bed in the Dean's Blue Hole. Pretty amazing.
Very early morning.
She does nothing before
Nothing.
diving.
So no
Just
warm up.
wake up and drink
Yeah,
the
no.
coffee
She does warm up, but
Okay.
before
before
came to
some
the blue hole.
stretch or raising.
Yeah.
I don't.
No breakfast.
No breakfast, but drink coffee.
Drink coffee.
Strong coffee.
Oh, get the heart rate up.
No, it's good. Just relax.
Every morning, every night.
So one thing I've noticed that I've just been watching you ladies for the last couple days, and you guys are so relaxed and like playful and just having a good time, and it's really awesome to see.
Yeah.
But I
The
want
most
to
important thing.
I want to focus now today.
Yeah.
But she makes me laugh.
And so you guys always travel together?
Yes.
Oh, that's really awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed this week, we have a lot of athletes very serious and focused, and not to say that you guys aren't focused, but definitely, you're having a lot of fun and being relaxed. It's really a great quality to see. Yeah, it's
I
super
think it's the
beautiful.
most important.
I like that. Laughing
Yeah,
laughing prepare for my dive.
yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, me
In the
too.
competition.
Yeah, it's super cool. Right on. Do you dive today?
No.
No?
No, today's no
Moral
diving.
support?
Tomorrow, yeah, only support.
Okay,
Tomorrow and
awesome.
day after tomorrow.
What are you going to do tomorrow?
Tomorrow maybe free motion.
Free immersion?
Because
Okay,
I
cool.
have now back pain,
Back pain.
lower back pain, so
Yeah.
maybe no pain, no concentrate.
All right. From the new mattress here on Bahamas, or
Huh?
from the new mattress, the new bed?
Mattress?
Mattress.
No.
Why the back pain?
I don't know. It's been 1 month, more than 1 month.
Okay.
It's okay. Sometimes it happens.
Maybe more yoga.
Yoga. I don't like yoga.
We
We're,
delay.
we're noticing a theme here.
And
From
you
the
do yoga?
freedivers.
Do you do yoga?
I do yoga, yeah.
Are you a yoga teacher?
Yes.
Right?
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Teach me.
Okay, yeah. I can teach you some things this week. For sure.
Good student.
All right. My first student on Long Island.
Yeah.
Would be you.
Yeah.
Yep. Take a little break.
Yes, more.
Okay, cool.
See
So
you later.
everyone at home, we're going to take a little bit of a break here from the OriginECN freediving competition.
Bye.
Super stoked to have some of the Japanese ladies in the booth.
Thank you.
Always bringing a lot of life to the camera. Yep, we got a yoga class going on after this. We got to take a break. But yeah, 2 national records, 1 world record attempt. We're going to come back after the break, and we've got a ton of national record attempts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So stay tuned. 11:10. We'll be back live here at Dean's Blue Hole. Till then, aloha.
Aloha.
Huh?
Was your dive?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
They say I did double okay, but
Aloha everyone,
Most
and
likely
welcome
it's not.
back to chapter
No,
2
it
of
should
day
be wide.
1.
Well, let's see at 4. We'll see at
Origin
4.
ECN Vertical Blue Freediving Championships here in the Bahamas. Super fortunate that we have Alexey Molchanov from Russia and Alex Davis from the Bahamas, both made
Barbados.
Barbados, I apologize, Barbados. National record holder in free immersion now from Barbados, just recently completed his dive. And then Alexey, who attempted a 92-meter no fins dive and had a little bit of a, kind of hiccup at the surface, I guess. The judges penalized you for that today. It looked like a good dive to me.
Yeah. Well, they said it was double okay, but in well, there is much more chance it is not. So we'll actually see at 4 o'clock because I believe it should be white card and other guys too.
Cool. Yeah, so I talked to Adam, and that's kind of a unique thing to freediving, and the athletes can actually, appeal the decision of the judges.
Yeah, and even maybe we'll not need it because judges will review the surface cameras and they might change their decision themselves.
Okay, so that's an option too for them to review or to change the decision without that.
Yeah, without the protest. So
right on.
At 4 o'clock we'll know.
And so I saw you having a little discussion with Will on the beach. What did he think of the?
He thinks it was clean dive. William saw
Yeah.
it was clean dive. And anyway, it's the first day today, so I mean this dive doesn't really affect anything because for me it's 3 more no fin dives at least, 2 to 3 more. So it was a little bit harder than in training, and I know what to fine tune in my later dives. So that's the most important.
Cool. And so I was talking to Adam a little bit about your dive and your diving in general, and he said that it's unique because most people try to do the same thing sort of over and over again, and you kind of just do what feels like it works on that particular dive. Is that something that you're cognizant of, or is it just
well, the changes I do are very small.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would not do any major changes, of course.
Gotcha.
The really small changes. Omar is getting actually.
Yeah, so what do you think of this one?
Dive.
Omar, big dive for the Italian.
He's going for the national record. It's very, very big. It's actually
116 meters. Announced dive time of 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and this will be a national record for Italy. And Italy's very strong diving culture. Yeah, big performances from the Italian divers.
And he have a nose clip with the colors of Italy.
Yep. Yeah, interesting. He's wearing the nose clip. You have Alex with no nose clip, wearing the mask. 81 meters, kind of a unique thing.
I'm the last one to convert.
Yeah. Well, at some point you will need to convert to nose clip. Just because I converted to nose clip.
But you've done 105 with the mask. 111. Okay.
111, and then I converted because of the speed, basically. Because if you have mask, you have your arm on the nose, and then it slows it down. It slows it down.
My speed is still a meter a second from
on the way down,
free fall.
Okay, so Omar's down, 116. So what do you guys think about this performance? Is this a depth that you feel like Omar's got in the bag, or?
He did a very strong dive in training, so now it's only a question of if he will be able to keep the mindset.
Gotcha.
First day is always the hardest.
And he's very relaxed. He looks very smooth and relaxed.
For someone like you, Alexey, I mean, who has probably some of the most amount of experience competing in these events, what is the difference between sort of competition and your training dives? Does it affect you in any way mentally?
Well, it always affects, of course. And in competition, in training, you always have this idea that you can turn early, and you can do the same in competition, but in training it's more relaxed, of course.
Gotcha.
So in training you can change your mind in the last minute, you can decide to dive something else. And in competition you cannot. You announced you need to do the dive.
Yep.
And even here it's a lot of days of diving. It's the first day today, so everybody have 6 days of competition, but still it's limited number. It's 6 days.
And so Omar at one time was the variable weight world record holder, yeah?
I think so. I don't follow variable weight so much, but I think so. And
so equalization form on this dive is probably going to be not an issue.
For sure. Well, it's different for head up and head down position.
For sure.
Let's see.
Touchdown. So he made it down. Now he's got to make it back up.
And he spent some time figuring out where to put the tag.
Yeah. We saw that happen to Jessie Liu, where she actually got stuck below the bottom plate and had a really hard time finding the tag on her world record attempt in free immersion. You know.
They have really powerful kicks, actually. So let's see what is his
A
speed.
minimum of effort on the backstroke, but a lot of positive
Yeah.
forward momentum, yeah?
And the speed is pretty good.
And so you're wearing a torch on every dive?
I do.
A headlamp?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially here with the dark conditions, it's very important.
Yep.
Without the torch, you will feel much more narked because you don't have any visual.
Yeah. Is that a sensation you enjoy?
To be narked?
The narcosis?
Not so much. No. I try to like focus and not let this narcosis to slow down my dive, etc.
Gotcha.
So he is actually have a lot of power coming from the abdominal muscles.
Yep.
So for
We had the safety
you can see
diver.
that he's from the from reading pushing from
Yeah.
abs. So you will see in this competition, you will see a lot of different styles.
Yeah, it's really unique being able to have the Diveye and see all these different athletes and their different approaches to the dive. So we have Omar Leucci here about to break the surface.
Surfacing, and
Italian national record, 116
looks-
meters constant weight.
he looks strong. He looks very strong.
Vertical down.
Oh, fantastic dive by the Italian.
Respira, respira. Allora. Excellent, excellent.
Fantastic dive. And a white card.
Awesome.
New national record for Italy.
Yeah. And it looks like you have a reserve.
Yeah.
You have a good reserve.
Do you think maybe we'll see a deeper dive this week from the
I'm
Italian?
sure. I'm sure he will upgrade it.
Okay, cool.
Looking at his technique and surfacing, I would say he can do 20 plus.
Yeah. And how about you, Alex? You think you're going to try to stretch the record for Barbados a little deeper in free immersion this week? Or?
I think my focus is going to probably stick with constant weight.
Okay.
Free immersion was only a 1 meter increase from my dive last year.
Yep.
Just wanted to get something done for day one and get a nice positive feeling leaving day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd like to try some more constant weight really.
Cool, and that seems to be the theme today for most people, is just try to get something on the books they feel comfortable with, sort of enjoy the dive and kind of,
I think for a lot of people, the nerves, as soon as you're on the main competition line, those nerves disappear.
Yeah.
And then with the Diveye now, I mean, it's a little different for me because I've got a mask, so I can see everything at the bottom. When I open my eyes, I see the Diveye like perfect in front of me. My first thing that through my mind is, I wonder who's watching. And it's like, I need to snap, I need to focus and get my dive done.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very tempting to want to like smile or do something, but
Bit of an advantage in being able to grab the tag at the bottom with the goggles on, though, yeah?
yeah, I can see.
Oh, there is a
what's going on.
review. That's cool
Yep.
to see the highlights.
Yeah, we can see him grabbing the bottom, or hitting the bottom plate and grabbing the tag here, making the turn. And then, like Alexey talked about, a really powerful kick cycle getting him back to the
He
surface.
has a good rhythm as well with his kicks. It's very consistent on the way up.
Yeah. And I think he had a lot of even power reserve in his legs. He didn't look weak or anything on the last 10 meters, so he felt like
Consistent.
he was
Very
consistent,
good rhythm.
and he have enough energy to dive deeper.
Definitely.
And so I talked about it a bit earlier in the broadcast, but definitely something that'd be great to ask you about, Alexey, is you're starting a new revamping the freediving school that you've been doing. So sort of like I was joking with Adam, I didn't realize it was your slogan, but by freedivers for freedivers.
It is.
Yeah,
yes,
it's really cool.
It's actually us basically introducing our Russian system that was developed by my mom since 2005.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we had our Russian training system and education system for many years, and it's something we just launch internationally now.
Cool.
And with a lot of top athletes involved into the project. So that's
Yeah, Adam was rattling off some names like Goran Kolak and some other athletes that are involved with the project, and I mean it's amazing the level of talent that you guys have surrounding that.
So the goal is actually just to keep freediving training and just go beyond the concept which was before, like courses.
Yeah.
But actually start to support trainings much more now.
Gotcha.
Because freediving is a sport, it's very far from diving where it's all about courses. And freediving is about training, consistent training.
Yeah, so you're helping to develop and build the sport like what we're watching right now.
Yeah. And even if it's an amateur sport or just a recreational activity, you still want to, like recreational running or people like just doing running for fun, it all requires training anyway.
Absolutely. And so there's been some rumors that freediving might be in the Olympics one day.
There are rumors, and there are a lot of actions taken to move to this direction. So fingers crossed, and if we have like a lot of support from freediving community, and we try to share the broadcast, and we have a lot of views, a lot of countries participating in the international competition.
Absolutely.
Then it's a lot of chances. So I think for the Olympic Committee, the most important thing is number of countries participating and views. How much of interest it attracts.
And so you come from a very strong swimming background. How well do you think swimming as an athletic pursuit translates over to freediving?
So swimming translates really, really well, and it just saves time for freediver to, for beginner freediver. You don't need to learn techniques. You have an excellent sense of water and excellent, well, with a fin you want to relearn a little bit because swimmers usually have a different style with a leg kick. But for the no fin discipline, it's something that's just very, very natural.
Yeah.
So swimmers have endurance, they have water, feel very good. So it just saves time, but it's not necessary component of success.
Yep.
Because a lot of
gives you an advantage.
It gives you an advantage.
Yeah, for sure. Did you have a background in swimming, Alex?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No, my no fins is like 90% arms.
Yeah, gotcha.
I've worked hard on my leg kick, but it's still not great.
Yeah. So let me just take a second to introduce this next dive. We have Michael Board, who's attempting 111 meters in constant weight. This is another national record for Great Britain. Michael Board, the owner of Gilly Freedive, a tremendous athlete. He's been competing here at Vertical Blue for quite some time, and he's going to go and try and attempt the constant weight national record for Great Britain. So really stoked to see him try this dive right now, 111 meters.
Yeah. He did similar depth in training, so for him it will be, it should be confident dive.
Yeah.
Very positive dive.
Very positive. And
definitely a seasoned competitor as well.
Yeah.
He's a very strong athlete in general. You see him on the beach every day, you know, walking up and down. He doesn't take a day off.
Yeah. And he's very strong
dedicated.
Mentally. He's focused, and I think from what I've seen before, he's not so much affected by the competition.
Gotcha.
20 seconds.
He can be narked. I saw some of his dives when he got narked.
Yeah.
So let's hope today it will be
10 seconds.
mellow narcosis.
Mellow narcosis. Okay.
Happy narcosis.
Happy narcosis.
Well, here's to wishing Mike some mellow narcosis on this constant weight national record attempt for Great Britain, 111 meters. Mike is packing his lungs at the surface, getting ready to make his descent. The British athlete filling his lungs to his maximum.
Monofin, you want to pack because you go deep and you need this air to equalize.
Yeah. How many times do you pack, Alexey?
For monofin, I would pack almost to the max.
Gotcha.
30 packs plus.
Okay.
Plus. Not to the max, but almost to the max.
Yeah, just that fine line, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you pack, Alex?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just to feel like I'm ready.
Gotcha.
25, he moved his arms down, so probably somewhere there he did mouthfeel.
Yeah.
See it there now.
Yeah.
Lifting his chin.
And so this is something that the viewers at home are all probably really excited to know about, is the mouth fill technique.
How to equalize
at
this depth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, with this zoom, you can actually see the cheeks. So deep free divers, they move the air from the lungs to the mouth.
Yep.
And there is a lot of technical fine-tuning to be able to keep this air in the mouth. Because it's really easy to swallow it back to the lungs.
And so the short story is that basically once you reach about like 30 meters-ish, that your lung volume becomes so compressed that you can't bring air up to equalize in the traditional fashion, right?
Yeah.
So you're actually like a chipmunk, like storing air in your cheeks to take it with you to depth. And like Alexey's talking about, there's all this fine-tuning that goes on, and I'm sure that's something in the Molchanov system you guys got to discuss, yeah? Yeah.
But there are different techniques actually for this. So some people,
okay.
Well, I have my technique which works awesome for me, but then there is a couple of variations.
What'd you talk? Yeah.
Well, for me it's getting the mouthfeel at 20 meters each, repeating 25.
Okay.
And
so pretty shallow.
Pretty shallow.
Yeah.
So he's getting there. He's getting to the
almost
bottom.
at the plate now.
Yep.
There's the candy cane.
111 meters. Mike Board touching down.
Oh no, he passed it. Come on, Mike. he passed the plate, and he was almost reaching to the lights.
Jessie Lou did the same thing, and I
Yeah.
think that cost her some time at the bottom.
Yeah, but I think good him. He was pretty fast to recognize his.
So how about the grabbing the tag at the bottom? I mean, is that a rule that still needs to be in place?
I don't think so. I think we would better get rid of the tags at the bottom. Like it's part of the history, but it's something which distracts athletes at the bottom, and you're narked. So you don't want to spend, like, it's actually spending more time on the bottom is not really safe.
And it could potentially be increasing injury and stuff
Yeah.
like that in the
Yeah,
athletes.
yeah.
And we saw Jessie Lou really struggled with that. I mean, it cost her considerable time at the bottom on
Right,
what was
so-
already a hugely physically demanding dive for the Chinese athlete. And so,
Right.
yeah. Hopefully it doesn't cost Mike
He-
too much time here.
No, he's very fast. He's very fast, and he looks strong. 35 meters, so he looks. You can see that he starts to bend the knees a bit more, so I
Yeah.
think his hips are burning a little bit.
That's sort of
But
the
I-
signal that the legs are going when the knees start to
Yeah,
bend.
He looks strong. And safeties have hard time keeping up with him, with his speed. The dive time is great.
And so I noticed you doing something that was unique. You were kind of doing like some fast kicks and then some pausing period.
Breathing,
Yep.
breathing,
Mask
Very
comes
good.
off.
nose clip.
Nose clip comes off. Mike
A
gives
little
the
bit to the
okay signal.
side, that's a little bit not good because he did it to the side. And the judges might say
Got a nice
that
big
he-
smile though.
Yeah, he did it well. He did it a little bit. No, actually he's great because he did it right to Carla.
Yeah.
Carla was doing a great job as a judge. She was not at the platform, she was in front of Mike.
And so the judges are allowed to move around.
They're allowed to move around, so
Okay.
I suffered sometimes from judges being lazy and like staying at the platform,
Yeah.
but I think
No.
for some reason, was it something with the protocol maybe?
No, his tag's there. He's good. He's got his
She
tag.
saw the
The
red
verdict
card,
is out. Will Mike board
so he's
get the white
confused.
card for the 111 meter? Yeah.
Was it white or red?
Red.
Red card.
Unfortunately.
Red card.
Red card, so we'll be waiting to hear what caused that red card.
Yeah, well, I
For
would
Mike
assume
Boyd.
it may be something with the protocol,
Yeah.
and it's maybe something.
I mean, I think we'll definitely see Mike try that depth again this week.
Yeah.
It seemed like a very strong dive from the British athlete. And he even lost some time at the bottom, so I mean,
Yeah,
if he can
yeah.
grab the
Maybe we
tag.
can get some time from or some information from Adam if you can see Adam. He can give us some hints. But next diver, Aulin, 107
Yeah,
is
big dive for the
big dive
Chinese
for him.
athlete.
Adam. What was it?
All right, guys. Great to be here. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
having me.
Alex, thanks a lot, man. Hope
Alexey,
to get to
welcome.
talk to you
Welcome.
later
See you
on in
later.
the week. And yeah,
Enjoy, guys.
Thanks. So give some here. But Aulin was doing a deeper dive in training. So for Aulin, it's pretty conservative dive.
even though it's a national record.
It's a national record, but I know in training he was doing deeper dives like.
Yeah,
So he
certainly looks like he's in top shape.
he has some narcosis. Last year he suffered from narcosis.
Yeah.
So he surfaced. He wasn't hypoxic. He wasn't shaken or anything, but he was slow.
Yeah.
He was like. He was missing the protocol time, 15-second time.
And so what depths do you start to feel narcosis?
100 meters already started.
100 meters,
Yeah, 100
okay.
meters.
But no shallower.
No, no shallower.
Yeah.
No.
4 minutes.
So Alan Wang from China, attempting a constant weight dive to 107 meters.
He's also in our team for.
Oh, Molchanov's freediver.
Yeah. He's
And this will be a national record attempt for the Chinese athlete. So big dive here. Alexey's indicated that he's already done a much deeper dive, or a slightly deeper dive in
Oh,
training.
let's see slow motion. Well, it looked like maybe they gave him a red card because of the double OK sign, but it looked good for me. Like I think this should be a white card in my opinion. So I will protest my dive for the same exact reason.
Yeah. So we may have two protests for the exact same reason.
But also judges can just overturn their decision without a protest. They
Yes.
can can see the protocol and they can just give a white card at 4 p.m.
And we don't want to make it about the judges, because they have a very difficult job as well. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
obviously, we as athletes and divers, you guys have a very difficult job in completing the dives, but then these judges are forced to.
Tell us, give us some hint. What they thought it was double OK as well?
We have Adam Stern, who was on the platform during the last dive, and we're trying to figure out what caused the red card from Mike Board's national record attempt.
He was disqualified for another double OK, so...
But there was a slow motion right now, and it looked fine.
Honestly, there will, without question, be a protest.
Right. So
basically, everyone's 2 OK at this competition.
Here we go. You ready?
One, and if he holds it, and if he just holds it, so it's perfectly white card.
He gave another flick.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they're counting as, but like,
yeah.
This double OKing must be what they're focusing on for this competition.
Probably should ask them. Well,
we need less OK.
Yeah, I think double OK should be double white card anyway.
It
should be white 2 card and a beer. And a beer like, good job. Here you are.
There we go.
Brilliant.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Okay,
2 minutes.
Wang.
And so obviously very familiar with Alan Wang's diving style. It'll be great to have you in the booth and give a little context to this dive.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a phenomenal wetsuit.
Very flexible, very flexible. And Alessia is preparing. He should be diving soon. I don't know why she's still not in the wetsuit. Alessia dives at 12, at 12:10.
Here's Homer.
Here's Homer at 12:10.
The Italians are the most lively bunch on the beach, always.
In the beach, in the water.
In the water, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Pure Italian style. Look at this.
So he probably says, "Allora, take a picture of me." Allora, now I'm supermodel. he's a great model.
They're both great models.
They're both great models. He's very athletic, so that's a good example how the athlete should look like.
Yes.
Muscular, ripped.
I think you're a big fan, Alex.
I'm a big fan. Okay, Wally is a couple of minutes, almost 1 minute before the official top.
Yep.
1 minute.
And so what are you guys focusing on in the time before your official top? Do you guys visualize anything or just try to relax and breathe?
I would focus on breathing pattern. So I would see, okay, that my diaphragm is relaxed, that I'm breathing not too deep, not too shallow, so I'm following the right technique.
Okay. Which is sort of like almost like before you go to sleep in the evening time, right?
Yeah, maybe sometimes slightly deeper, but generally like I focus to be relaxed.
3, 2.
He's got a monster nose clip on.
He certainly does. That must create a bit of drag in the water.
Yeah. Well, he asked me. We didn't have a different sizes of nose clip before, and small size was too small for his big nose.
You're making a bigger one now.
So we have a large size now, so he will test it.
Alexey had to make a custom extra large size to fit my nose.
For Adam.
Me and you both.
Cool.
How's the technique look?
He's very relaxed. He's
It's beautiful.
Great shoulder flexibility, yeah.
25 seconds, 30 meters, more than 1 meter per second. Looks excellent.
And so it's always a balance between speed and relaxation. I mean, how much speed are you looking to achieve in these dives? Is it something that you focus on if your dives are too slow?
Certainly, like everybody have their style, their preferable dive time, because some people are stronger with the static breath hold, they can hold their breath longer, others then they prefer to be faster.
Yeah.
So it's a balance, also depending on your body type.
And you can see he's off the line. Like Adam was descending earlier, he was touching the line, so that obviously slows the descent a little bit too. So
very slightly. I would say his arms are a bit wide. Like
yeah, try to get him on the
hips.
hips.
I would not really try to make him too straight, but like a little bit closer to the body, so it's a bit less drag.
And you see some people utilizing like elastic bands for that reminder too around the thighs. Yeah.
I don't think necessarily having your arms a bit wide is a bad thing, but you are effectively compromising your speed for a bit more relaxation. So it's just where he's putting the emphasis.
Yeah, and I think it's 90 meters now, so he's just a couple of seconds behind 1 meter per second speed. So it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
And so in your descent, what is like your rudder, so to speak, that keeps you closer or further from the line? Does it come from your head or your chest or your feet?
It's your body position. Body position is
grab the tag.
Okay.
Very, very graceful.
And he's holding the tag in his hands, I think.
Yes, looks like.
That's what I actually do for my constant weight dives. I like to mess around. Grab it and get out of there.
I got my Velcro on my thigh, so I think I'll just keep sticking my...
We saw you hanging at the plate the other
Yay.
day at 126 meters. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was behind.
God, the Diveye is struggling to keep up.
Yeah, I think Iolin is much faster. Diveye needs some stronger
Yeah.
she needs some help. Let's help Diveye.
They just came off a break, so maybe they're just warming up again. Here we go, coming up.
What is the max speed for Diveye? Is it 1.5? Okay, I think.
Alright, here we go. We've caught up.
We caught up
He's
on
starting
Iolin.
to slow down anyway.
So he's about 35 meters, and he lazy kicks now.
And you can see sort of the knees bending that you discussed earlier. That's sort of the sign that the diver's getting a bit tired.
Yeah, well, actually, I think it's here. It looks like it's a choice. It doesn't look like he's too tired. It looks like he's just more relaxed.
Okay.
So you can see that it's fatigue or it's just a choice that the diver is lazy. Well, I think he's not.
Oh.
No, don't grab him.
Oh no, I think he...
Do you think he was blacked out?
Well, the safety divers, they've got the eye on him, so
Okay.
they would know.
Maybe it looked.
There we go, they're blowing on his face.
Okay.
So Alan Wang with a little bit of lost motor control at the surface.
That's really. Okay, he's good.
Here we
he's
go,
breathing.
he's back.
He's good, but that was strange because it looked like
He
he was
looks
relaxed.
very strong on the way
It
out.
looks like he was relaxed and he just
then
fell
he started-
asleep. He was maybe that was a really strong narcosis.
I think in this case, because these are dives that Alan has done before, I think in this case it's competition nerves, first day of the competition.
Yeah, because from what I know, he did more than 110.
Yes, I mean, but this is some of the issues with such a long competition like this. A lot of the divers, they come out the first day and they come out swinging. They have these big dives, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's been an issue for me in the past doing that, and I'm not certain it's the best way to go.
No, no, definitely not.
And so is there any way to prepare yourself for narcosis?
Dive, just
If you get drunk often, you'll get familiar with the feeling.
Okay.
yeah. You just need to get used to it. Go to the depths.
Going on those depths.
Yeah, going on the depths.
Okay.
But basically, just repetition and experience.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. No, it's
Gotcha.
a very specific feeling, isn't it? Like it's.
And so definitely for the athletes that don't have access to depth consistently deeper than 100 meters can be sort of a huge factor in subjecting themselves to narcosis only in a short window
sure.
during this comp. Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, interesting. Well, and he passed away for a couple of seconds, so it looked like he was not too hypoxic. He was really like.
Wow,
Maybe-
I mean, it's hard to say without seeing a diver's face underwater, you know,
Right,
because
right.
we could only see him from behind, so we're not sure why the safeties made the decision to grab him and bring him
Right.
up.
Yeah.
But I'm certain we'll see Alin come back, and certain we'll see him go deeper than that in this competition.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to get him here and to talk a little bit about his experience.
All right, so we have Walid coming up next. Now, this is a very, very conservative dive for Walid because I mean
He was diving deeper.
Well, I saw him do 118 constant weight, very clear, maybe about 2 weeks ago in the lead up to his competition.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think he may have been suffering from some kind of from overtraining or from something similar to what we were talking about with Jesse, where he peaked a little bit too early because I mean it's a very shallow dive for him.
I know Walid's been on island for quite some time, so he's probably been training quite hard.
Oh yeah.
Obviously a terrific diver from Tunisia. He's going to attempt a 105 meter constant weight dive, which should be, well within the reach of Wally Budiaf. Fantastic diver.
Oh, there's my wife and Gaz's girlfriend as well. Two of them talking about something. You can see.
So does your wife do some freediving?
She does it for fun.
fun.
She did 50 meters so far.
Okay.
And I don't really push her to do any big depths. She just does it for just for fun. And
Yeah, like my girlfriend, she likes seashells.
yeah, well, she was a swimmer. My wife was a swimmer for many years.
Okay.
And she was an Olympic swimmer. She was in Beijing and London.
Cool.
And she was in the Russian national team for more than 10 years, and I think it was a little bit overwhelming to be a professional athlete for so many years, so she needs to rest a little bit. And that's actually what we see. We asked about swimmers, and that was what we see with the swimmers. A lot of swimmers, they're so tired of water after they finish their professional career that they don't really want to swim or freedive.
Absolutely.
So we need to find some swimmers who are not so fatigued with water, and we do have some. There are good examples of professional swimmers who start doing freediving and they like it.
And so for me, I had this thought of maybe like trying to transition some of the younger swimmers into freediving at an earlier age, maybe exposing them to activities in the pool with breath holding and stuff like that that might be beneficial to success in freediving at a later stage.
Yeah, well, for sure we should get teenagers and young guys to start training freediving. That'll really be something which will bring good results in the future. And we have another Olympians as well doing freediving. Like there was Anthony Irvin doing freediving course in Hawaii.
Yeah, with Kurt Chambers.
With Kurt Chambers, and he was Olympic champion last Olympic Games in 50-meter freestyle. Yeah. And then he seemed like he have a good potential in freediving. Maybe we need to get Anthony Irvin starting competing in freediving
on the freediving train.
In the freediving, he's from Los Angeles, I think, right?
We gotta slide over a little bit. They said. How do you think that?
1 minute 30 seconds.
Thanks, bro. Got a little ear infection from the water here in the Bahamas. It's all good.
So
from the shower water, yeah.
Yeah, just for air infection, alcohol plus vinegar.
Yeah.
50-50.
Yep, exactly.
I have some too, if you need. I have some drops, but basically just get alcohol, you have it, and get some vinegar.
Yeah, apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. We'll need. Well, let's see what Wally will do, and his specialty is actually free immersion.
Yeah, pulling down the rope.
He was pulling down the rope very successfully in the past years, and he started to train Monofin, and it looks like he's doing really well. Yeah.
And so you were talking about swimming and freediving, and one of the things that exists where I live in Hawaii that's become a real sort of hindrance to the development of freediving is that the idea that it's very dangerous, the sport of freediving. And
well, it's just a perspective of people who are not familiar with the sport, I guess. Just because of it's a sport. It seems very dangerous. Yeah. It's a breath hold, you dive to the abyss, and it's really deep, so it's natural, it looks dangerous. Yeah. With the protocol and safety protocols and rules, statistic-wise, it's really safe. Yeah, exactly. So, and we've seen that so far in this event. We've had 2 blackouts, both of which were underwater, and they were both athletes are fine. Yeah. So there are a lot of other sports, which is funny. There are a lot of other more dangerous sports, which
skateboarding, snowboarding,
skiing, which is a much higher risk of dangerous, and people just think it's a great and awesome and fun sport. Well, people think that freediving is an awesome sport. It's just freediving is really intense in terms of understanding that people just go 100 meters below the surface. Yeah. So I think it's actually not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a little bit of education to explain the protocols and safety systems, and other than that, it's now with the Diveye, when people see the dives, I think they'll be much more excited.
Absolutely. And so it's really freediving is a solo sport, but it's sort of a teamwork that adds the safety element to the sport. And we obviously have some of the most highly trained safety divers and medics and EMTs here in the Bahamas, so it's really nice that the athletes have the opportunity to push themselves to their max capacity under that watchful eye.
Yeah. And then there's a strict protocol where athletes are not allowed to dive more than 3 meters from their best dives.
And how recent does that dive have to be?
So now it's monitored for the last couple of months, and even then, if the judges of safety know that the diver was not diving for the last month, and he have a big jump from the training results to the announcement, they might restrict it. They might reduce their announcement. So they actually.
Have you ever been restricted?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Touchdown 105 and.
And so you see Wally goes straight overhead with the arms. We've seen some athletes ascend with the arms by the sides and then come overhead. And I'm assuming that's to minimize the risk of like lung injury or something like this, yeah?
Yeah. It's very streamlined and it goes pretty fast.
80 meters.
There is
70 meters. 215. 60 meters.
Looking pretty good.
yeah.
Much narrow kick, yeah?
It's much narrow kick, which is good. Which is good for streamlined position.
50 meters. 30.
And so for people interested in learning how to use the Monofin, would you recommend starting off with like a competition Monofin or starting off with maybe like a training swim fin and then building up to the Monofin?
Well, training swim fin, I mean the mini monofin,
Yeah.
it doesn't really work at all like well. It doesn't teach you the good style. So it's better to swim with a like a little bit longer rubber fins. So longer rubber fins would be excellent to train with and
To learn the technique.
and then even if you have the monofin, you still want to combine monofin and rubber fins in the same training. So
And do you use the rubber fins for depth and dynamic? For training?
For training, yes.
Yes.
For training, yes. Look at what he's doing. He's crossing his arms, like maybe saying, like, I'm so confident. And good. But he was crossing the arms. Did
Yeah.
you see that? He's looked like a nice dive. He looks a little bit fatigued. I don't know why he looks a little bit unhappy. Slightly.
Yeah, interesting.
Maybe he's. White card.
Nice dive, Wally. So Wally from Tunisia, currently living in Colombia, runs an annual freediving competition down there. Have you been to it?
No, it's hard for me to
Make them all?
Make them all.
Yeah. So you're having a freediving competition coming up, maybe?
In September 23rd. Well, it's actual diving day will be 22nd.
Okay, 2 days.
Ibiza in Spain.
Cool. And how's the conditions in Ibiza?
It's open water, so they are like real life condition, not artificial lake condition. So it's good.
Like Hawaii?
Like Hawaii, anywhere, it's open waters. There are some waves sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
But other than that, it's good conditions.
So real watermen.
Real water. I'll need to rest now, so
Yeah, no problem,
having me here.
Alexey. Thanks for coming.
Oh, maybe
in.
Omar will come here and tell some story. Come here, Omar. And I'll go have some rest and I'll see
We got a
you next
ladder on
days.
this side.
Come on the other side, Omar. Oh, maybe.
Alexey.
Good job, Omar. I was cheering for you.
Okay, thank you.
Very good, very
Yes,
good.
no,
Strong
was-
dive.
Yeah, good. Yes, I felt good. Really,
Yeah.
Good sensations.
Good sensation.
Thanks for bringing that.
Awesome. Good job.
Because the 115, I had a little bit, for the equalization. You know,
Okay.
But then I take the 2 meters more for the refill.
Okay.
And you?
Well,
It's good.
good dive. They say I had a double okay, but it should be a white card.
Ah, good. Grande, 92 meters, no
So
kills.
next dive, Thibaut Guignes from France, free immersion, 105 meters, and a dive time of 3 minutes and 20 seconds. We're going to watch him breathe up for the next 4 minutes, but in the interim, I have Omar Leuci.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good morning to all of you.
Yep, yeah, good morning to everyone in Italy who just watched Omar make a fantastic dive, a national record to
Thank you very much.
116 meters in constant weight.
Yeah. It was a great dive. I felt really strong and really good, not only at the bottom but even at the surface.
Yeah,
But this record is to Stephen McKinnon. because Stephane was here last year, and each record of mine, he was really happy and made the party with me. So I dedicate this record to him, and he stayed with me for all the come up from the bottom to the surface. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy, really happy.
And so for those of you out there who don't know who Stephen Keenan was, he was an Irishman who was a fantastic world-renowned safety diver who passed away at the Blue Hole in Dahab, Egypt earlier this year, safetying a swim through the arch, the prolific arch at about 55 meters. And so a lot of the athletes here obviously really, have a strong attachment to Stephen. He was a wonderful human being. And so we'll have a memorial on Saturday for Stephen, yeah?
Yeah. In fact, the 22, that was, it would be his first anniversary. I will be in the water, and it will be really, really touchful for, the spirit and the animal.
And so we have another athlete coming up, a female, Alessia Zecchini.
Yeah.
And so she's very small in stature, but she's been doing some huge performances.
Yeah. Because Alessia, actually, she's one of the best in the world. But there are many other female athletes that probably can put in discussion the throne of Alessia. Because during training, Alenka Arplik did really well.
Yep.
In fact, I've been training with Alenka even in Sharm el-Sheikh for 3 weeks.
Okay.
And at the time, one month ago, she wasn't at the top, but here in 2 weeks, a couple of weeks, she reached very great, important depth.
Really?
In fact, today she had announced 4 meters, so
big
1
dive.
meter close to the world
record.
record. Alessia announced 103 meters.
Yeah.
I mean that for her it's really simple to do it. And in fact, I don't know really because me and Alessia didn't talk about tactic. So I really don't know if she was really sharp and she wants to take the overall.
Yeah.
Or if she will be concentrated and focus on the world record in constant weight. I really don't know. But anyway.
And so I mean, the only other person I found out just last night who'd done it is Sarah Campbell to set all 3 world records in one comp.
She did.
I think Alessia has the potential in every discipline to set a world record.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, it will be great to see an Italian that after many years got the chance to settle 3 records in 3 different disciplines of constant weight. It will be astonishing.
And so for myself, growing up living in Hawaii, I've obviously always had an affinity for the Italian divers. I mean, I'd say you guys are sort of the origin of the sport, and it's amazing to meet so many of you and
In fact, there is another important guy that we have to follow, Thibaut Guigne from France.
Yeah.
In fact, France and Italy, for the ancient time, there is a struggle between Italy and France. You remember Umberto Perizzari, Jacques Mayol?
Yeah, some great rivalries. Yeah.
Because all the time, France team...
Friendly rivalries.
Yeah,
good
friendly. But anyway, there is competition. Yeah. So this guy, I know that he settled with 108 meters, the French record in free motion, 1 month ago in Pangalao, Philippines. And now he's here for his first time vertical blue, and he started well as well.
Yeah.
Because 105 meters.
Big dive.
Yes, it's a big dive.
40 meters.
And for me it's great to see other competitors live, to see and to watch how they do
different things,
different technique. In fact, he started the free fall really shallow. This in comparison to me.
Yeah.
Because, for example, today with monofins, I started free fall at 60 meters.
Yeah.
So it's quite deep. You know?
Yeah, very deep. Sort of like Alexey does the free fall, starting much deeper.
Ah, okay.
Alexey
I didn't know.
Yeah, see that? I mean, you're going to get to see all this, and it's really, I mean, adds a whole nother dimension to the sport, to being able to see what these athletes do.
Got the same problem that I had with the lanyard, because sometimes the lanyard stuck in the rope of the nose clip.
Yeah.
So sometimes I saw that even Thibaut got the same problem at the bottom, at the plate, and sometimes when you turn or when you move the arm in a different way, so sometimes it happens.
And I mean, obviously the nose clip mandatory for making the descent so that you can equalize. But on the way back up, you know, when you're having contractions and stuff, it's definitely very nice to have the nose clip shut. Yeah.
But he
seems to overcome it.
Yeah, seems really strong, really okay. So we see now he will be in safety. Normally the first safety is around 30 meters.
30 meters, yeah, 25 to 30 meters is where we've been seeing most of the safeties. A little deeper on the national and world record attempts.
Yeah.
And they get a little grouper call so you can hear them, which is nice. Make that eye contact is always nice.
Yeah, no. It's really important, even because in the watch, normally we got many notify or many alarms to go down, but we got only one to set it up, a timing one. So for example, I got one timing alarm.
Okay.
That he ring at the half of the
halfway up on the ascent.
Just to know that I am at the alpha, and I start with another swimming.
Okay. And so we'll watch this surface protocol here.
Supposed to be good, yeah. Seems to be okay.
And that's one of the strongest surface protocols of the day so far.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked really, really good.
Yeah.
We'll see what he gets from the judges.
Bravo Thibaut.
Yeah.
Good dive.
Handling the narcosis really well, handling the depth, the hypoxia, everything.
Yeah. Yes, because
I mean, that's pretty much a textbook surface protocol there, yeah?
This is a strong guy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that he focused on the free motion.
Yep.
But if this is his beginning, I suppose that it could be a great vertical blue for him.
Yeah. And so getting back to your alarms, you talked about the alarms. Where do you set your alarms? I'm sure you have some on the descent, and then you said you had one on the ascent as well.
Yeah, I got in fact 4 in the way down.
Okay.
Because I got 1 to charge the mouth field.
What depth is that?
Is 12 meters.
12.
12.
Very shallow.
Yeah. In fact, for example, last year I charged only one time, 15 meters.
Yeah.
And I managed here just my depth of the last year, so around 100 meters and more. But these years I increase a little bit, so I do one charge and then a refill.
Yeah.
And normally it depends on the depth that I have to reach. For example, in 115 meters that I did in training, I settled the alarm for refill at 22 meters.
22, still shallow.
Today 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24. So I increase of 2 meters the refill.
Yeah.
So I got 2 alarms, 1 to charge, 1 to refill, and then I got the third alarms to start the free fall.
Okay, what depth is that?
60 meters.
60, very deep.
Actual,
yeah.
Even because here in vertical blue I changed the
weight.
The weight.
Yes.
Because in Sharm el Sheikh with the suit of 1.5 millimeters, I use 1 kilo.
Okay.
Here I use 75 grams, 750 100 grams, and so I start the free fall 10 meters deeper.
Yes.
Just to have the same timing.
Yes.
So the fourth and the last alarm, I got it 10 meters before the plate. So just to know that I am really close to the plate, even because here I used to take the hand and to swallow the main rope in my hand, just to know that I'm okay. So I close my eyes, I focus on the equalization the last 10 meters, and then when I feel the little ball there is at the end, just to stop the liner, I know that I'm okay, so I just grab the tag and come back to the surface.
Yeah, perfect.
Now he's starting Alenka 3.
Yep.
Bravo, Bravo.
Yep, so we've got a little replay here of Thibaut Guignez, French athlete. Thanks for joining us, Omar. You can talk us through your dive here. It looked like a really strong performance. We're just highlighting some of your rivalry here, Italian-French rivalry. Yeah. Yeah, terrific performance. It was 105 meters.
Yeah.
And free immersion.
Yeah, it was a very nice dive. Got a little bit entangled. I don't know if you saw it at the bottom with the line.
Yeah.
But beside this was.
At least your nose clip stayed on.
Yeah.
The nose clip, it didn't fall off.
No, it stayed on.
Yeah.
But decided to start with something that I had already done.
Yeah.
Which is quite easy for me.
Yeah.
And we'll see on the next one. But this one felt very, very good.
Cool.
So I'm quite confident for the rest.
So sneaking up on the national record, yeah?
Yeah, maybe a new one.
All right.
Next time, we'll see.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
But a lot of good dives today.
Yeah.
Amazing athletes. So
yeah, we've got a great one coming up now with Alenka Artnik, and she's gonna do a constant weight dive to 104 meters.
Yeah, she's so strong.
Yeah.
To me, she's one of the most impressive athletes I ever met in freediving.
Yeah.
Everything feels so easy with her.
Amazing. We have some terrific female performers this year.
Yeah. In training, she did already 2 times 103, was so easy. So I'm sure it will go great for her.
And then right behind her, Alessia Zaccini.
Yeah, it looked like because in training they both did amazing dives. It looks like they're taking their time, building up slowly during the comp.
Yeah.
And I think they are right because it's a long comp.
Yeah.
6 dives on 11 days for everyone. So if you start right away to your max, what's left to do?
Yeah. And that seems to be the theme. Most of the athletes are kind of starting off relatively with some easier dives, even though big performances already.
Yeah.
And then working their way up, and then maybe try some big dives later on in the week.
Yeah, that was my own questioning before the comp, because I arrived in great shape, doing amazing dives in training. So you're always tempted to go for.
Yeah.
And just the day before, when it was time to announce, I decided to go a bit easier.
Okay.
1 and 5 to start with, and we'll see day after tomorrow.
Yeah, well, worked out for you. So something you do that's a little bit different than most athletes. Were you wearing the lanyard on your wrist?
Yeah. I'm always saying it doesn't change anything, but obviously today it did. Not the first time ever I get entangled in my own lanyard.
So what you'll probably see the majority of athletes doing here this week is the lanyard on the wrist for constant weight, meaning kicking down with the monofin where the arms are out ahead, and then belt lanyard for
belt or ankle for free immersion. So that's your. But I don't know. I don't like the. I'm not counting on getting pulled up by the counterbalance ever, but if that happens, I don't feel comfortable being pulled up by the ankle,
Yeah, upside down.
So I prefer to keep it there.
Yeah, well, we hope that's never the case.
Okay, Alenka is going.
Yep. Yeah, walk us through this dive.
Yeah, she always starts with the arms along the body.
Yep.
Compared with most freedivers that go arms stretched, she finds it more relaxing. But you will see her on the way up. Usually she used the arms to break the water. Just on the way down, she goes very relaxed. Yeah. Great start so far. Looks very relaxed. Okay, she's about to start free fall. She likes to give a few more little kicks like this.
Yeah.
Not using the whole body, but just a little.
A little from the hips, yeah?
Yeah.
We see that from a lot of athletes, starting their sink phase much later into the dive.
Yeah, more and more deep freedivers like to keep kicking or pulling quite deep. I usually start my free fall properly only at 45, but because I'm very heavy, but maybe if I was a bit lighter, I would go even deeper pulling.
And you can see here she lets the, even though it slows her down like a little bit, she lets the rope guide through her hands.
Yeah, we discussed a lot about this. We had the same issue at the beginning because we used to dive a lot in Philippines where visibility is great, and at 100 you see perfectly
Yeah,
clear.
same like Hawaii.
And here with the light, sometimes even with the light you're not sure, so I think she prefers to keep the line in the hand. Okay. He's gonna make it easy. Yeah, he arrives to the candy cane, grab the tag. Come on, Alenka, nice the way up. Look, she starts without the arms and
Protect
little...
the lungs, yeah?
Yeah. And she should be stretching her arms soon, usually, we'll see.
That's what I've seen in the past too.
Oh, maybe she's gonna... Oh no, she's not gonna make me lie. Okay, very good. Oh, I'm so excited for her. Oh, she looks very relaxed so far. Even though it's a personal best for her, she's still far from what she can do.
60 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of gas left in the tank.
Yeah, she's world record holder for bifins.
Yeah.
With 85 and 85 bifins.
Tough dive.
Yeah, for the legs, so this should feel okay for her. Now it's longer and deeper dives, of course, but...
And we should have the first safety diver coming down right about
She's
now,
slowing
30
down,
meters.
taking her time. Very good. Meeting first safety diver. Soon second safety diver. Great.
And how important is having these safeties here?
Oh, that's incredibly to know all those great freedivers that take off their time to do safety.
Yeah.
Makes us feel so safe and confident. I had Lily Crespi doing safety for me, deep safety today. Just seeing her was like, well, we have been very good friends for a while.
Yeah.
It's amazing to have.
Yeah, another French freediver. She's obviously a great athlete in her own right.
Yeah, we are everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, Alenka. Ah, so clean, so easy, like usual. I'm in love.
Amazing dive.
Yeah, she's so strong.
316.
And she has the tag.
104 meters with the tag.
Wow.
Waiting for the decision from the judges. I think it's safe to
which should be
assume.
quite clear.
Yay! Great dive.
Ah, she's amazing. I'm gonna leave the space to her very soon.
Yeah, no worries. Well, we got a great athlete coming up next with Alessia Zaccini.
Yeah, we have 3 girls going more than 100 today, first day of the comp. It's gonna be so exciting in the next few days.
100 meters is the new 100 feet.
Yeah, I need to work hard. My God, so many athletes.
It seems like just yesterday, if you could get to 100 meters in any way,
yeah,
no limits, variable weight, that was a big accomplishment. Now almost every discipline, 100 meters is sort of the standard.
Incredible.
So one of the strongest athletes in the entire field, male or female.
So Alessia will be going for 103, which should be quite easy for her considering what she did in training, and she looks in great shape, has good spirit.
And so we see the entrance from Alenka, and then we see her touching down here at the bottom, grabbing the tag, and just on her way up having another beautiful dive. Really relaxed and easy. The arms come over the head at 82.
And when she grabs the tag, there is not one single unnecessary movement. You know? It's like so...
And so we saw that with Jessie Lou, really cost her a lot of time at the bottom today.
Yeah.
She was struggling to find the tag, got hung up at the bottom, and then had a, a kind of deeper blackout. And grabbing the tag, it definitely adds a whole new dimension to the dive. Yeah.
Yeah, but most deep diver put an alarm a few meters from the bottom plate so that they can prepare. You can see that you have 2 meters of what we call the candy cane, where there is tape. And in the middle you have a tennis ball to block your lanyard. So a good thing is to grab the tennis ball, go get the tag, and put it somewhere and then come back up. And you can do this very smoothly if you work a little bit on it in training. And it's very important not to waste too much energy at this stage, because you are right at the bottom, and you still have all the way up to do.
Absolutely. And so just we talked to Omar just a minute ago, but where do you set your alarms?
Me, I'm a bit special regarding the alarms. When I talk about it with my fellow athletes, they are all laughing. I'm like using an alarms every 10 meters.
Okay.
On the way down and on the way up.
Interesting.
Just very short alarm, just every 10 meters. I don't know, I like the idea of knowing exactly where I am. But I lose count, but it's just, I'm just thinking about my next step, which is the next beat. Not about going to the bottom.
Yeah.
Otherwise I start anticipating and then it messes with my mind.
And so that's something that freediving, I mean, I think in my experience has been a really amazing tool for, is teaching mindfulness and being in the present moment.
Yeah. Yeah, although you could argue that the alarm is taking you away from your relaxation and from the moment, but it's like, you know, like when you see something in peripheral vision, yeah, it's like I hear it I don't know how to say, like in peripheral
in the background.
Hearing.
Yeah.
And it's very nice this way.
It obviously works for you and facilitates relaxation.
Yeah. Yeah, for me works very well, and especially on the way up, you know, when you start being uncomfortable, having the urge to breathe, sometimes not knowing where you are can make you a bit panic. If you know exactly where you are, even though you are still quite deep, you know. So
Absolutely.
you just set your mind to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't know, how can you set your mind to do it? That's how
Absolutely.
I feel it. But
and that's, I mean, you know, with the safety divers, it's beautiful that they meet you at the same depth every time. So once you reach that depth, you kind of pretty much know you're in safe hands from there.
Yeah, you know where you are.
Definitely the challenging portion of the dive, the last 30 meters to the surface.
Yeah, no, for me to me, I feel like my first 20 meters of the way up are the hardest mentally. It's like my safe zone. I know it's completely hypothetical safe zone, but my safe zone starts at between 90 and 80. When I reach 80, to me I'm safe. My dive is done almost.
Yeah.
I keep focused so that I can do a nice surface protocol, but mentally I feel safe. It's like now they can catch me anytime, even though it's not true.
Yeah, I
like,
gotcha.
I pass 80 and I'm like, okay, I'm safe.
Cool. Yeah, it's always fascinating to hear all the different mental tricks and tips from these different athletes. So we have Alessia Zecchini from Italy, constant weight, 103 meters and a dive time of 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
She's a wizard of freediving. She does amazing things in all disciplines. She's like crazy strong.
Yeah, so really interesting that she has the potential possibly in this competition alone to set 3 world records.
Exactly. I see her setting 3 world records this competition.
And so this is really a warm-up dive for her.
Yeah, I think so. She has been doing quite deeper on training already. And I'm sure she's gonna do great like usual. She has a style very different from Alenka, you will see. Lately she used to free fall with her arms stretched above the head.
10 seconds.
So there is not only one way to do, you know.
Yeah.
And you'll learn the basics in the courses. Our official top for Alessia. But then you need to develop your own way of diving, you know, little by little as you go deeper. And there is not one only way. You need to find your way, which makes it very interesting. Okay, she's starting now, going down.
Alessia Zecchini.
Strong athlete from Italy, attempting 103 meters in constant weight.
50 seconds.
She's very, very flexible from the elbows and from the everywhere in general, but from the elbow. So she told me it doesn't cost her any energy to keep the arms stretched above the head. She can completely relax, and this way she gets less drag in the water.
Yeah, definitely a big advantage. As a male, someone with a lot of upper body strength, it's very difficult for me to keep my arms overhead and to either descent or ascent.
Less weightlifting, more stretching.
Yeah.
40 meters.
Okay, she's already at 40. She keeps undulating a little too, a bit like Alenka.
50 meters.
She's about to start a free fall, I think. Okay. Yeah, almost 60, and now she's free falling. Very similar to Alenka, actually, the start of the free fall.
And she's
Just
got the fluid
position.
goggles on so she can see a little bit. You wear goggles?
No, I just go with the nose clip, and but just I'm very close to the line, so just seeing that the line is there and that my free fall is good is enough. I don't like watching around.
Yeah.
80 meters.
And very nice. Okay, 13 meters to go. There's a very nice and
3
fast
meters to
free
the
fall.
plate.
Yeah.
Glides in. Grabs
Okay.
the
Yeah.
tag,
Was almost 1 meter per second on the way down.
which is pretty much ideal time.
Yeah, but let's see on the way up. So far she looks good.
Very small, yeah?
Yeah, very small with a lot of frequency in the undulation.
80 meters.
Amazing that Diveye adds a whole nother dimension to the sport, yeah?
Oh my god, that changes everything.
70 meters.
It's like now you don't even want to stay in the water to watch people go, you just want to go back on the beach and watch it on a big screen, you know?
Absolutely. Hopefully that brings a little bit more spectators to the sport as well. It's a fascinating sport. Everyone was always a mystery what happens when people descend, and now we're getting to find out all these different subtleties and divers techniques.
But it's also a bit weird from the diver's point of view, because so far, after the first 20-30 meters, you know, you were all by yourself. That's your place, your moment. No one is there to disturb you. Now, if you let your mind take this into account, you feel that probably thousands of people are watching you, which
Quite a
can
few
be
people
bit
are watching you
unsettling.
make these descents and ascents.
Yeah, well, when I left my place, we were already 1,500 people watching
Yeah.
live, and it was just the beginning. So, okay, she looks very good so far.
Takes the
She
nose clip
removed-
off.
Yeah.
That's usually a good sign.
So clear. I'm okay. Very good.
And so when you see the athletes take the nose clip off underwater, that's usually a pretty good indicator that they got the dive in the bag, yeah?
Yeah. And she has the tag. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a white card. Let's just wait for the official confirmation. Yeah! Congrats, Alessia. Made it look so easy.
Awesome dive by Alessia Zucchini.
Alright, I'm gonna leave it
Right
to
on.
you.
Thibaut,
I need
nice
to go
to have
and
you.
get my saturation taken
Yeah, yeah.
under control.
Great, well thanks for stopping in. It was nice talking with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck in the rest of the comp. Look forward to seeing you
See
do
you
some
guys.
big dives. So we have an overcap of the leaderboard here. Today's dives. Omar Leucci with a fantastic dive. We had him in the booth earlier. 116 meters in constant weight, national record for Italy. We've also seen some big 100-meter dives from a lot of the other contestants. Several national records attempted. Alenka Artnik with a 104-meter constant weight national record. And then we have coming up constant weight Daniel Koval with a national record attempt for the United States. next up, from Hawaii, Daniel Koval, attempting 102 meters in constant weight. This is a U.S. national record attempt from the Californian turned Hawaiian. Some big dives from the Hawaiian contingency already today. We had Jesse Liu attempt a world record in free immersion. Now we have Dan Koval attempting a national record in constant weight.
minutes.
3 minutes to official top. Some of the athletes on the beach talking story in between their dives. French athlete has a very strong contingency here at the OriginECN vertical blue. Approximately 2 minutes until we see a national record attempt by Daniel Koval of 102 meters. So just a moment here, we'll have Alenka Artnik joining me in the booth, who just completed a fabulous dive to 104 meters, which was a national record. And she'll be walking us through this national record attempt for Daniel Koval, living in Hawaii currently. Hey, congratulations on your dive today.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Oh, I'm so happy to be sitting here right now.
Beautiful. Well, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you. I was so nervous today. Oh my god, I was nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's good to get the first one out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. I just said before, I think like the first day, I think I'm the most stressed, so
Okay.
probably later will be a little bit easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's just not the first time competing here, so
Yep.
yeah.
What do you think so far of the Bahamas?
Wow. I love it.
And, yeah.
I love it, really, like, yeah.
Diver's paradise for depth diving. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Like the island itself, it's incredibly beautiful. I love it because it's so raw, and you have this. I was very surprised because you have these two sides, the Caribbean and the Atlantic. Louder, and the Atlantic side reminds me actually of the Mediterranean, which is where I'm coming from.
Yes.
And I just have a house there, and like it feels like home actually, but I'm in the Caribbean, so it's very interesting.
Yeah. Water temperature is very conducive to these thinner wetsuits as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is really, really nice. So basically, yeah, I don't know what's the temperature. I guess around 28, 29. But it's just perfect. Like no thermoclines, no current. It's really like you really can just relax.
Yeah.
On your dive, and that's very, very important. And,
Yeah, you look very relaxed on your dive today.
Well, you
Even
know,
though you were nervous.
Yeah, on the surface I was really nervous, but then the moment I did the duck dive, I was in my zone.
Yeah. So we're about to watch Daniel Koval attempt 102 meters, and that's going to be a U.S. National record.
New national record, huh?
Yeah.
Who is the previous one?
Kurt Chambers at 101 meters, and before that was Nick Mavoli.
Yeah.
Daniel Koval, USA.
Yes.
Constant weight.
So how's he looking?
102 meters.
Let's see. He looks very relaxed. Quite slow. We go back. He's quite slow in the beginning. I like that.
30 meters.
So he drops his arms quite early.
Yeah.
And goes into his sink phase.
Now it's 35 meters. Okay.
We've been seeing like Alessia and some other of the athletes, they're kicking much further down than Daniel.
Yeah.
He's starting his sink phase a little earlier.
Yeah. He started at around 40.
Yeah.
I think I was kicking at around 60 today.
Yeah, you kicked quite far. Same with Omar.
Yeah, it depends, you know, it depends from the buoyancy. Here actually I'm quite buoyant in these waters.
Yes.
So my descent was just too slow, so then I had to kick deeper. And I can still keep my relaxation. This is the most important thing. So.
And so for you, out of curiosity, what would be the limiting factor in the dive for you? Is it equalization, or is it your physical capacity, or?
I guess stress.
Stress?
No, the equalization right now is working really well, so this is not my major problem. I guess my legs were also very, very strong.
Yeah.
Maybe hypoxia.
And so it looks like he's going to make the plate.
Yeah.
A little bit of a pull.
Back. Come on, Daniel. Keep the focus now.
Hands come over the head.
In this part is like crucial to keep the focus, not to think about the surface, the tag, the protocol. Just be in the present moment and just keep the focus. Super, super important.
80 meters.
Big, strong kicks.
2 minutes.
Yeah, probably something like me. I think I'm also kicking quite strong. It's interesting here because it's because of the darkness. You don't have the reference. Like you don't know where you are. How it's tricky because of the darkness. You know, this factor influences a lot.
40 meters. We should see a safety diver pretty soon. Seems like he's right on time for his announced dive time. 3 minutes.
3 minutes, huh?
You can tell he's really working hard with the legs now. A lot of bending the knees.
Yeah, the legs must be quite tired right now. Come on, Daniel, keep the focus.
Can you pull on the rope?
No, he did a little pull.
Yeah.
3 meters below the surface, he did a little pull.
So a little pull below the surface that kind of alerted the safety team that there was going to be a little bit of an incident, and Daniel Koval from Hawaii will not be getting the U.S. national record for constant weight today. Brief blackout at the surface. Daniel's just fine.
Yeah, this is as I said before. Like stress is such a strong.
It's a hard one to battle.
And it's a first day, so I think the stress is just higher.
Absolutely.
Today.
And so we've noticed different techniques. Yeah, obviously, Dan Koval, going for a big dive right off the bat, first day of competition. What for him is a big dive. And then we've also noticed other athletes, like Thibaut Guignès just came in and had an interview, and he was talking about doing dives that are a little bit more easy to start the performances and kind of to help manage the stress a little bit. And so what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I think everybody needs to follow their feelings. I decided to do, it is actually 104, it's my PB.
Yeah.
But I did 2 times 103, and both dives were really, really strong.
Good.
So basically, I said to myself, okay, let's just put 1 meter below, so it's just I have an additional motivation.
Yes.
You know, when I was thinking, do you want to do another 103? Come on, let's just put a little bit deeper, so you have like a bigger motivation, and that means also like positive stress.
Yeah.
So you can focus better. So this is mine, but of course I also like to be very, very, very firm in my announcements.
Okay.
So
firm in what way?
In way that I like to do these dives before.
Okay.
Because as I said before, the stress factor is really, really strong.
Yes.
It influences so much. You need to take this in consideration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, we have a lot of viewers at home watching this broadcast, and they may be thinking, I want to get involved with competitive freediving, and the challenge for them may be the nerves. I think that's a big thing for most people is, taking their performance from training or recreational diving into the competitive atmosphere where you have to dive on a certain dive time. Do you have any sort of tips or tricks that may be able to help with that?
Well, you know, if you have a wish to do a competition, probably it's because these days there are so many competitions around the globe.
Yes.
You know, like also these mini competitions. So I would definitely suggest something like that. You know, if they have the desire, the ambition to do some competition, absolutely. You know? It's actually overall it's great fun.
Yeah.
You know, the competitions and also like meeting all these people and everything is amazing.
Yeah.
Even though it's stressful, but it's on the other side. It's so worth.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it. So basically, yeah, if they have the desire to do competition, maybe for the beginning something smaller, you know, and if they want to continue, just go for it.
It's really great to see freediving sort of blossoming into a sport, you know, and with Diveye now televising the broadcast, it's really kind of helping to bring the sport more into the mainstream.
Absolutely. This is like, I said it was already last year, I said that this is like taking this sport on a much higher level. And if we want to develop, if we want to rise the sport on a bigger, higher level, it's a must.
Yeah.
So now we are here and we all need to do everything we can to make this sport even more popular.
Yeah.
You know, in our own countries. You know, I was last year after my last year season, I was so active with promoting the sport. You know, basically I was more tired after all the interviews that I had that after all the season.
I hope I'm not taking up too much of your time now.
No. I like to talk. I have some Italian genes.
Yeah, okay.
This is for me not a problem.
And so we see we get some logos on the wetsuit. Who are we representing here?
Yeah, they are my dear sponsors. I'm so happy.
You've got Molchanov, which is very popular.
I need to show them.
Yeah, show them off.
Akrapovic, this is
what do they do?
It's an exhaust system. It's a worldwide, very, very popular, very known and successful company. And I am also very, very proud of them.
Yeah.
You know.
Awesome.
And then Luka Kopet, it's a port of my hometown.
Okay.
So I'm, of course, I'm emotionally very, very attached to them.
Yeah,
because
awesome.
they're coming from my town and they're supporting me.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really grateful to them. And here you see this one is my Slovene Federation, the diving federation. They're also helping me to be here. So yeah, without these guys, I wouldn't be here now.
Yeah.
So
well, we're happy to have you here, and I hope we're going to see some deeper dives this week, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. You know, this dive was still quite strong today. I need some rest, and I need to do a little analyze, and then I will decide what to do.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing more from you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah, have a great day.
Bye bye.
All right, next up to dive, Tomoka Fukuda. Japanese athlete, will be attempting 100 meters in constant weight. Tomoka, one of the strongest performers here with the monofin on the female side of things. Very excited to see some big dives from her, potentially some world record attempts. In just a moment, we'll be having Wally in the booth talking about his dive today.
Yeah. Let's see. Looks nice. I hear about some things.
The view from the beach. It's amazing here at Dean's Blue Hole. You can literally step off the beach and almost step onto the platform and be in 600 feet of water. So almost 200 meters deep in the historic Dean's Blue Hole. We have some of the fans here from the islands, very supportive of this year's event. Been happy to talk with many of the locals here in the Bahamas. Very excited, very supportive. Super stoked to have freediving as part of their island's culture. And they have some of the best diving in the entire world right here on Long Island. Tomoka breathing up, 10 seconds till her official top. Takes a deep breath. Packing her lungs. Tomoka Fukuda from Japan. 100 meters, constant weight. Hey Wally, how are you? Just about to be joined by Wally Budiaf, one of the strongest athletes in the event, from Tunisia.
Sorry, I'm all wet.
It's alright, everybody's all wet. We have Tomoka Fukuda descending 83 meters, attempting 100 meters. Tomoka, one of the strongest athletes in the event, yeah, Wally, from the women's side.
Yeah, she is, and she has been training here for quite a long time now, because we were here the whole month of June and big part of July, so I saw her doing very strong dives.
You've spent a lot of time here on Long Island. It's a beautiful place to train for freediving, yeah?
That's right, yeah. And very good conditions. I mean, it's so practical to just drive by and stop the car and jump in the water and have 200 meters depth right away.
And so Tomoka looking very strong in the ascent.
She is.
Already at 53 meters.
She has a great technique. You can see how she keeps her upper body completely still.
Yeah.
And the ondulation and movement is just goes to perfect.
First safety. So we saw you drop the arms at the safety. I think you had the arms crossed.
Oh, at the end, yeah. I mean, it was an easy dive. It was kind of warming up. So.
Yeah.
Oh, it's chilling.
There you go. Well, it was a beautiful warm up.
Yeah.
And then Tomoka almost about ready to break the surface.
Yeah, she's almost there. She's trying to face the platform and
orientate herself before she reaches the surface.
She's very clear. That's amazing.
And so, I mean, that looked about as clean a surface protocol as you can have.
That's really amazing.
Textbook. I think Thibaut Guignes was pretty much one of the cleanest in that regard.
Yeah.
As well. And so we have a little bit of an early turn by Tomoka at 90 meters. Not sure what happened there. We'll talk to you about her in the booth. Maybe equalization?
Probably. Yeah, you know, so on first day, nerves play a big important part.
Yeah.
So I mean, most athletes are much more nervous than usual on the first day.
And yourself as a seasoned competitor, a little nerves, or?
Not for that dive. I mean, it was okay. Some divers prefer to skip the first day and start on the second.
Yes.
Also for the whole logistic to warm up and all divers, so they all know the place and stuff.
Yep.
But I think it's definitely better to do an easy dive on the first day.
Yep.
But some others prefer to, as we saw,
Dan Koval, Jesse Liu.
Strong one right away.
Going for it right off the bat.
Yeah. That's, I think, the strongest, the most difficult part to train for and to master. I mean, the nerves and the
So we'll make a little room for Alessia. Zucchini?
I am wet.
It's okay, we're all wet.
It's okay?
Zucchini, right?
Yes, nice.
Okay.
Ciao.
Right
Ciao. Bravo. Facile.
Another fantastic performance by Alessia today and her dive. You want to talk us through your dive?
It was very nice.
Very nice dive. Yeah, cool. We had Omar spoke very highly of you, and we were congratulating him on his national record attempt from Italy today. It's nice to see another Italian doing great things with their diving. Yeah, so I'm sure we'll see some bigger dives from you over the week. Yeah. Yeah, cool.
It was very nice. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, the Italian team is doing very well. So.
We are very strong.
Everyone.
Yeah. We are very, very strong. Come in our team.
Oh.
You speak Italian,
Okay.
come in our team.
Dai.
Very cool for me as growing up in Hawaii. I was always look up to the Italian divers, so to see you guys here and doing great performances is really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you very
worries.
much.
So I think we got a little break in the action here for a little bit, but yeah, beautiful day at Dean's Blue Hole. How do you like Long Island?
Yes, I like very much.
Nice place?
Yeah, it's very nice. This place is amazing.
Yeah, for the depth diving,
Yeah,
huh?
sure, it's the best place for it because very little coral now.
Where do you spend most of the year?
Around in Rome when I'm training in the pool and around for competing.
Okay, cool. And how many times have you been to Bahamas?
This is the second time.
Second time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You came last year. Yeah, awesome. Okay, sounds good. Cool, so Wally will be kind of known as the free immersion specialist. Is that going to be your next dive, or are we going to stick with constant weight?
Yeah, I'll probably switch to free immersion. Yeah, this year I've been more focusing on constant weight, and it has been much better in that discipline. I did a different kind of physical preparation workout before.
Yeah.
So it definitely helped. In terms of strengthening my legs.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I enjoy it. I mean, it's nice, the feeling of using the fin, and I used to do a lot of fin swimming time ago. So it was nice to get back into that. I mean, it was a pretty long time ago, but it's different sensations, feeling, and dive times are much shorter now, so less narcosis, less hypoxia, so yeah, it's worth trying to train more. During the training, it went really well for constant weight, more than free immersion for me. I went much deeper in constant weight than free immersion this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously the free immersion dives are really kind of like testing the breath hold, huh?
Yeah, I think free immersion is deep free immersion dives. You need strong breath hold, strong, very good lung adaptation, because it's very stressful on the chest.
Pulling at that depth.
Pulling on the depth, yeah. And then tolerance to narcosis. I think these three are detrimental for deep free immersion.
Yeah. And so we had Alexey in the booth earlier, and he talked a little bit about narcosis and its effects. It seemed to be a popular theme throughout the day.
Yeah.
Other than going to those depths consistently, is there any way to train for narcosis?
For me, one of the best ways to train for it is what we call hangs, static at depth. So allowing enough time for your body to feel that strange phenomena, and being used to it, because first of all, you don't have that many options and opportunities to go very deep each time. So
some of these athletes almost never have the opportunity to dive deep. They do a lot of training in the pool or in shallow lakes and stuff like this.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Guess we're going to take a little break here at the 2018 OriginECN Vertical Blue Freediving Championships. We'll be back with the third act of today. Stay tuned. In the interim, you can follow us at VB 2018, Dean's Blue Hole, Bahamas, and Cinto Dive, hashtag on Instagram and social media. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Look forward to seeing you for the third part of today's broadcast. Aloha.